All heavens sign in from Naruto, Chapter 361 to 380. Chapter 361 Another sleepless night. In the next days, Wanda joins the Super Seminary. Her addition made the management system of the Super Seminary completely messed up. Although Wanda has a more docile personality, but she didn't listen to Dukao's management at all. Wanda just moved into Yefeng's house as she did. Since then, Wanda and Yefeng live a beautiful life of singing every night. But this matter makes Du Qiangwei jealous. All are perfect girls. Why can you, Witch Yuhi, receive special care from Lord Feng every day? And I, Du Qiangwei, want to hide and tuck. I'm Feng Yi's first full-score girl. Then, Du Qiangwei finally couldn't help showing off to everyone. Then, she also moved into Yefeng's house, and together with Wanda, became Yefeng's left and right wings. Rose's showdown not only completely shattered Jie Xiaolun's dream. Weeds grow on the head. This also makes other girls feel mixed feelings in their hearts. The second batch of girls who joined the Shangbing company was fine. Among them, except for Li Feifei, who has a relatively high favorability to Yefeng and is stuck at the level of 79 points. The rest of the girls are in their 70s. But Qi Rin is a high scorer. She watched Wanda and Qiangwei kiss me and Yefeng together. Tenten. Qi Rin finally felt that she couldn't take it anymore. After all, Qi Rin's various sensory abilities are very strong. She could hear the embarrassing voices from Yefeng's house every night. Qi Rin endured it. Then, this night, Yifeng just covered the exhausted Rose and Wanda with the quilt, ready to rest. But this time, clap clap, there was a knock on the door of Yifeng's house. Who is it? Yifeng frowned and asked impatiently, why are you here looking for me if you stay up so late? Perhaps Yifeng's voice was a little too harsh. The knock on the door stopped. Then, Sister Qi Rin's voice rang weakly outside the door. Master Feng. I'm Qi Rin. Qi Rin's voice was very weak. It seems a little reserved but a little hopeful. It was an extremely complex sound that could not be described in words. Then, Yifeng curiously opened the door. I saw Qi Rin standing outside the door. Qi Rin is wearing very cool clothes today. A light white cotton t-shirt is worn snugly. A pair of tight blue jeans outlines Qi Rin's lines very movingly. This seemingly very casual dress successfully showed Qi Rin's body characteristics at a glance. To this, Yifeng said he was quite satisfied. That's right. This is Yifeng's favorite style. Qi Rin, it's so late. Is there anything you want to do with me? Yifeng looked at Qi Rin curiously and asked. Don't sleep well in the dormitory so late. What are you doing to him dressed like this? The night wind is puzzling. No way. It's not that someone doesn't know how to make up his mind. But Qi Rin's favorability rating for him did not reach 87 points. Generally speaking, girls who don't reach this score shouldn't be so proactive, right? So, Yifeng didn't think much about it. He just thought that Qi Rin might have some problems that he couldn't solve by himself, and wanted to come to him for help. Feng Yi, I think, I want to. Qi Rin stood at the door with her head bowed. Hands with nowhere to go are fiddling with each other. She hesitated for a long time without uttering a complete sentence. Yifeng saw Qi Rin so nervous. He smiled lightly. Kindly invited Qi Rin into the room first. Close the door. It's okay, if you need my help with anything, just tell me directly. You don't need to have any concerns in front of me. Who made me your instructor? Yifeng patted his chest. He said he was definitely a nice guy who likes to help others. Then, encouraged by the night wind, Qi Rin finally raised his head, showing that shy and high-value face. Then, she stared at Yifeng's masculine face like water. Intoxicated. She didn't say anything though. But Yifeng understood. Perhaps. This is Chi-Rin's genetic characteristics. Other girls may have to brush up to 87 points of favorability before they can take the initiative to take that step. But Chi-Rin is different. Her various feelings will be amplified. So, Chi-Rin is envious of Chiangwei and Wanda. His favorability for Yifeng has not yet risen to a height of 87 points. But some of her physical needs have made her unable to bear it any longer. Then, Yifeng stepped forward and hugged Chi-Rin in his arms, lightly smiled and said, "It's okay, some things are really a little jerky when you try them for the first time. But don't worry. Rose and Wanda can teach you. Wait a minute and I can ask you to wake them up, and then we can all communicate with each other." To be frank, Yifeng asked himself that what he said was bland. No problem at all. But Chi-Rin's face suddenly changed to Yuhi. There was also a very special sound. Fate is so wonderful sometimes. Even though Yifeng wanted to go to bed and get up early every day. But there will always be so many hiccups that disrupt his plans. So, tonight is destined to be another sleepless night without details. The night is getting darker. Morgana on Demon 1 also didn't sleep. At this time, Morgana had removed her horrific look of heavy makeup. It has returned to its impressive appearance. After everything is ready, Lian Bing is about to start the special dream that Heifeng specially created for her. But this time, the death god Carl suddenly made an interstellar phone call. Let the cold ice suddenly have no pajamas. Lang Bing, I haven't been in touch for a long time, I miss it very much. There was a hint of excitement in Carl's flat voice. He did miss Lang Bing very much. In fact, in the eyes of many people, Carl's current state is very strange. He was obviously just an illusion. There is no physical body and no real feeling. But Carl still retains some of his love for Liang Bing. Perhaps this is the stubbornness of the boy. Fog Cow, in the middle of the night, can you talk about something? Can you not come up with such a sensational plot? Lian Bing sat up from the bed angrily and said, "Don't you know that I still have to take a beauty sleep? I have already arranged the moxibustion. Although Morgana has advanced black technology that can directly change the tenderness of skin cells. But maybe it's because Morgana has been in China for too long. So, she has begun to be superstitious about something slightly mysterious. Then I'll get down to business." Carl sighed slightly, then asked, "I have a bold idea, would you like to hear it?" Chapter 362 Carl's Plan 1. Fog Grass. Just tell me what your special code thinks. Don't special code pretend you are driving a big car all day long. Quote. Lian Bing angrily scolded Carl in the communicator. What a bold idea. Can you have any idea of killing Geisha? Lian Bing, you should already know about my subordinate Fengli and the Bucks. Carl asked, slightly embarrassed. Carl's gluttonous army suffered defeat on Earth. This caused an uproar in Styx. Carl believed that Liang Bing should also be very clear about this matter. After all, she's on Earth. Bullshit, I've heard it for a long time, those two of your subordinates are too embarrassing. Lian Bing picked up the corner of her mouth. A very disdainful look appeared. Although their demons have also suffered defeats on Earth. But tactics like Fengli and Bucks running at supersonic speed to be slapped in the face by Yifeng are absolutely unprecedented. Wrong. Master Ma is a precedent. Shame. It's actually okay. Although the attack of Fengli and Bucks failed, their actions succeeded in attracting the eyes of angels and Liang, which is very important to our plan. Carl's voice was flat, said. By the way, I heard that your subordinates also built a set of worm bridges on Pluto. Lian Bing asked, what? Wouldn't you still plan to let your family devour worms and bring his gluttonous army from Pluto? Big insect bridge is coming to Earth to grab a site with me. What about the trouble with Pluto's worm bridge? It is very convenient for gluttonous to move in and out of the solar system. But, although the gluttonous army of the Stygian River ranks relatively high in the aerospace-level civilization, but in the eyes of the devil, they are nothing at all. If Teoti really wants to do things on Earth, her demon queen will not be merciful to them. Don't worry, Liangbing, I have no interest in the Earth itself. Carl said in a flat tone. Gaioti is just a stepping stone. Our real goal is your sister, the beautiful king of angels, the Holy Geisha. Holy Geisha is the supreme god in the super seminary world. Her overall combat power is the strongest. Even Carl had to admit it. As long as Geisha is alive, in the entire known universe, there is no villain who dares to jump out and do things that are too extreme. Even the blazing sun and the Styx. They also did not dare to blatantly be the enemy of the angels. Not for anything else. Just because there is a holy Geisha in the angel civilization. Although Morgana has always been an enemy of angels on the bright side. But the devil's hard days are known only to the devil himself. And Morgana isn't an ambitious villain either. She just wanted to find a place to settle down with her demon brother. Then, just live their devilish days. Not a typical villain. Hey, didn't you say you didn't plan to tell me the specific plan to kill Geisha last time? You actually came to me this time. Lianbing walked off the bed, stepped on the soft carpet with bare feet, poured herself a glass of yuhi wine, and showed a charming smile. Tell me, how do you want the queen to cooperate with you? Kulbing is very interested in Carl's plan. Because in the field of cold ice knowledge, Carl should not have the ability to kill Geisha. After all, Geisha is really too powerful. So, what kind of god-killing plan did Carl, the clever ghost, come up with? Lianbing, I need you to expose the news of the devil on Earth, but don't expose it too much, as long as the angels can find you, but they won't find you in the first place. Carl said slowly. Oh, why is this? Lianbing frowned. If it is simply to expose the whereabouts of demons on Earth to angels. That's very simple. Lianbing made a direct interplanetary phone call and taunted Geisha's face. But what does it mean to not reveal too much? I don't expose much Morgana, can I still be called Morgana? ... Next. Carl began to introduce his plan to kill the god to Lianbing. His plan was not complicated. First, Carl will tell Geisha that he has clues that can unlock the whereabouts of Bingbing. However, this clue is naturally processed through special encryption. Geisha must come to Styx in person to complete the analysis in person. Thus, Geisha will definitely bring a few angels to Styx to find out. Not surprisingly, Geisha's divine wings will surely travel with her to the Styx. After Queen Geisha has seen my research in the river Styx, she will most likely leave a wing guard in the river Styx to monitor my every move. In this way, I can help you hold down one of Queen Geisha's holy wings. Carl's explanation is very methodical. Easy to understand. A wise man understands at once. But, although this plan sounds a bit silly, but Big Clock, the most powerful nebula scale computer in the known universe. The result is definitely not wrong anyway. One of the winged guards who trapped Geisha. That's a good idea of yours, but what about the other one? Lianbing stroked his chin thoughtfully, looking at the endless galaxy outside the window. Angel Yan and Angel Juxin are Geisha's divine wings. Don't look at the fact that neither of them have been promoted to gods yet. But all the angels of the Angel Legion are connected to Geisha's treasure trove of divine knowledge through the Angel Dark Web. They can gain power from a repository of divine knowledge remotely. And Angel Yan and Angel Juxin are the sacred wings of Geisha respectively. They also have access to a portion of Geisha's arsenal. The strength cannot be underestimated. Even the general 3 generations of gods are not the opponents of the 2 of them. So, if Carl can really get Geisha's divine wings, Then this fight is much better. The other winged guard, as long as you follow my plan, you should be able to keep her away from Queen Geisha as well, Carl said lightly. Oh, let's talk about it specifically. Lian Bing asked curiously. Queen Geisha, using her treasure trove of divine knowledge, has calculated the best heir to a king of angels, named Aeneid. Aeneid is now queen in a cold weapon civilization called Fraser. Led away the second winged guard beside Geisha. Geisha's treasure trove of divine knowledge can be calculated. Carl's big clock works just as well. To be honest, the big clock is currently the most powerful nebula-scale computer in the known universe. You mean, you want me to send Atto to Fraser to lead Geisha's other winged guards away? Lian Bing shook his head decisively, and said, that's not possible. Although Atto is already dead. But he's still one of my favorites and I can't let him take the risk. Chapter 363 Carl's Plan 2. Sword Demon Otto is the #1 big demon under Lian Bing. His combat power is naturally not weak. But there have been many group fights between demons and angels. Lian Bing is very aware of Angel Yan's strength. Atto can't be Angel Yan's opponent at all. As for Geisha's other winged guardian angel, Juxin. Although Lian Bing didn't know her, since Jishin could sit in that position, naturally he couldn't be a weak chicken. Don't be in a hurry to reject me. In return, I can give you 10 resources to promote the 3rd generation divine body. You can try to let Otto break through the 3rd generation divine body. Carl throws out his terms. It is clear. In order to completely destroy the Holy Geisha this time, Carl. Ready for blood. Only 10 copies. Lian Bing shook his head inadvertently when he heard this. What matters most this year? Resource. But more important than resources is character. Although Cold Ice is scarce in resources. But she can occasionally let her subordinates eat dumplings and experience the process of breaking through the 3 generations of gods. But whether it can break through to become a god depends on fate. Like Atto. He has failed more than 20 times before and after. Lian Bing didn't think he could succeed if he had 10 draws in a row. After all, Zon does not save trouble, and Krypton does not change his life. It's all backed up by science. You have to let me think about this matter carefully. If Atto can become a god, it's okay for him to meet Geisha's wing guards. But if he can't make it, I won't let him die. Lang Bing said very decisively. According to the calculation of Cold Ice. Even if Atto can become a god, he is not necessarily an opponent of Angel Yan. But God is God. As long as Otto can have a divine body, at least he won't give away a human head. Actually, this matter is not as dangerous as you think. Atto only needs to drag the other winged guard of Queen Geisha away, and he doesn't need to fight against the other party. Carl explained patiently. To be honest, he just wanted to attract the angel with the fierce name of the sword demon Otto. Play a little restraining role. It's not that Atto is expected to kill Angel Yan or Angel Juxin. So, as long as Otto is enough go. Completely fine. That's it. That's fine. Lian Bing touched his chin and hesitated for a while. I will release the news at that time, and I will tell Atto to go to Fraser to kill people and become a demon, which should be able to attract the Angel Sisters. Past. Although Anisid is the crown prince of Geisha. But Lian Bing did not intend to kill Anisid. To be honest, Lian Bing doesn't hate angels. She herself is an angel. She was just not convinced by the simple Geisha. Okay, then it's hard for you. Carl said lightly. By the way, Carl, you've been in the water for so long, you've done a lot of acting, but how are you going to kill Geisha? Geisha's body is very hard, and it's not that easy to break defenses. Lang Bing finally asked the most crucial question. Geisha's 4th-generation divine body technology is called the sacred body. Very hard. Super defense. And atoms are immortal. It is very difficult to kill her. So, How can the conspiracy and tricks be designed so ingeniously? If you can't break people's defenses. That fell last. Wouldn't her demon queen be reduced to show her who rushed up and was slapped in the face by Geisha? She doesn't want to be Mo Baoguo. I found a very suitable Yuhi superstar, it's called the Emerald Star. I can control Reina to accelerate the fusion rate of this Yuhi giant, making it a supernova. And then let it explode when I want it to explode, powerful enough to destroy Geisha's divine body. Usually, if you want to destroy the god body, you must use god-killing power. But god-killing power is a virus-like ability. Holy Geisha, it has long been implanted, and it is resistant to ordinary god-killing power. So, wants to destroy a great god of the level of Holy Geisha. You must use high enough energy damage. The Emerald Star is just right. Using Reina to drive the supernova explosion. So, you let Gluttonous attack the Earth in order to lure that little girl Reina to Earth from the scorching sun. Lian Bing suddenly frowned and said, Carl, are you scheming enough? When did you become such a scumbag? Although Lian Bing's character is also a little nervous. But she is not a fool. Lian Bing suddenly figured out the ins and outs of the whole thing. Carl must have already made a detailed plan to deal with Geisha. Earth, Gluttonous, Reina. These are pawns in Carl's plan. Even her demon queen might be a pawn in this plan. If so, then what kind of role did she play in Carl's plan? She didn't want to be a sand sculpture who was sold and counting money for him. Yes, Reina is one of my plans. Carl didn't deny his wittiness. After all, want to control the Emerald Star to explode according to Carl's plan time. He must use the technology of the Sun Man. And Pan Zhen is absolutely impossible to cooperate with Carl directly. After all, what Pan Zhen implements is the old-fashioned line of Guotai Manan. He would never do something like this to provoke an angel. So, Reina, the main god of the sun, has become an indispensable part of Carl's plan. After all, she was too depressed to live in the blazing sun. Such little girls are very easy to fall into Carl's trap. Carl continued. Queen Geisha's divine body defense is strong. But the Emerald Star had enough energy to blow her into an atomic state. Then I'll scatter Queen Geisha's divine atoms throughout the known universe with the big clock. It will take at least 300 million years for her to reassemble these sacred atoms. It's no different from dying. As long as Geisha is dead. Carl can then vigorously develop his theoretical experiments on the void in the known universe. Carl believes. He simply won't take 300 million years. Up to 3,000 years. Carl can welcome the void. Let him fully integrate into the void world. Only such a world is the world Carl wants to pursue. At this moment, Lian Bing sat quietly on the bay window, holding a glass of Yuhi wine in his hand, looking at the vast starry sky outside the window, and fell into a moment of contemplation. Although Carl respects Geisha as the queen in every sentence. But what he was planning was very unfriendly to Geisha. This also made Liang Bing feel that she couldn't understand Carl more and more. This guy. Probably the kind of ruthless man who can stab people with a smile. He was no longer the little fanboy of her Morgana. Carl, Geisha is a bitch, but she's not a brain dead. How could she go to the Emerald Star and let you bomb it? Chapter 364 Yi Feng's Scumbag Mission. Lian Bing shook his head. Although Carl's plan sounds fine. But the most important link is problematic. That's why Geisha is going to the Emerald Star. She has never been kicked by the Black Wind. Impossible to be stupid. I'll have Snow make a secret trip to Earth through the Pluto Worm Bridge later. He will implant a special device into your Demon One. By the time. As long as you can lead Geisha Queen to Demon One. Then grab her attention from the front. I was sure to trap Geisha around the Emerald Star. Carl has been studying the void all these years. He discovered many interesting things in the process of researching the void. Among them is the experiment of using the void to control time and space. Don't you want to use a wormhole to transfer Geisha? She is a sacred body. Don't tell me that your big clock can already analyze the sacred body. Lian Bing frowned. Liang Bing has always felt that her research on time and space should be regarded as the first in the universe. But if you want to transfer yourself through a wormhole, you can. But want to transfer someone else, especially a god of the rank like Geisha. Unless Geisha takes the initiative to connect the data with Devil One. But this is obviously absolutely impossible. So, can Carl really do this? If he really can. Master Carl's space-time technology has surpassed her Morgana. This is too scary. Lian Bing, you don't have to go through a wormhole to control time and space. The void world is far more complicated than we imagined. Carl did not go on to explain anything. Lang Bing didn't ask. Because Lian Bing suddenly thought of Yi Feng. Isn't that guy able to transfer time and space in ways other than micro-wormholes? Is it? Is the night wind related to the void? What the hell is going on with these men? How is it so mysterious? ... Super Seminary. Early the next morning. Yi Feng wakes up facing the rising sun with a younger sister in her arms. Judging by the tired expressions on their faces, they should have had a very fulfilling night. After all, Yi Feng told them an interesting little story all night. Master Feng, I'm hungry, why don't we have something to eat first? Chiangwei showed a secret smile. Yeah, it's time to replenish my energy, I think I can continue. Qirin waved her small fist, indicating that she can still liven up. Well, let's eat first, and then we'll continue listening to the story. Wanda also nodded. After all, the story told by Yi Feng is too fascinating. Although they are a little tired. But he didn't want the night wind to stop at all. Okay, let's feed you all first. Yi Feng shook his head, thinking about what dishes to use to keep them full. But right now, Yi Feng suddenly received a system prompt. Ding! Please go to the Emerald Star to sign in, the time limit is 10 years. Look at this sudden sign-in task. Yi Feng was lost in thought. Emerald Star. One that blew up the Holy Geisha. This moment. Yi Feng really wanted to take his swindle system out of his consciousness. Give it a beating of love too. Then ask it if this task is serious. First, Yi Feng didn't know how to get to the Emerald Star at all. Because he has no experience in interstellar spaceflight at all. So, if Yi Feng wants to go to the Emerald Star to sign in, Nightwind has only one choice. That is to follow Geisha to be swallowed by Carl's void skeleton. But merely arriving at the Emerald Star to sign is not the ultimate goal. He has to come back alive. The explosive force of the Emerald Star can even shatter Geisha's sacred body. How does he resist? And even if he was lucky enough to resist, how would he come back? So, Yi Feng calmly analyzed, thought for a while, and then patiently communicated with the system in his mind. System, you can have some snacks. For this task, you'd better give me a big hang, you know. Yi Feng began to prompt frantically. But if Yifeng's system can respond to requests, is it still called Yifeng's system? So, after the high cold pit cargo system released the sign-in task just now, it became dumb again. I don't care about the night wind at all. That means as if to say, look at your sappy color, sigh. Isn't the hook that this system opens for you not big enough? Do you want me to sign in for you directly, and then move the rewards back to you? For such a system, Yi Feng could only sigh helplessly. But this mission is really unfriendly to Yi Feng. Because the 10-year time limit means that if Yi Feng can't complete this task, he will not be able to receive new tasks within 10 years. And the Emerald Star will explode in a short time. If Yi Feng can't complete this check-in before the Emerald Star explodes. So, His task will always be stuck in this pitiful place. That is to say, within 10 years. It is very likely that Yifeng's open road will stop there. This special code is too stupid. Then, Yifeng needs to decompress. ... Devil 1. Morgana and Kurokaze were standing outside the observation window of a laboratory that was not particularly large. Inside the window, the sword demon Otto is absorbing the resources of becoming a god sent by the god of death Karl through Jingfeng Express overnight. Queen, you failed again. Do you still need Otto to continue? Heifeng looked at Otto with great distress and said. Of course. Kurokaze wasn't feeling sorry for Otto. What he feels distressed is the resources that have become gods that have been lost by Atoho. Otherwise, let me try this last resource. If I become a god, I can also go to Fraser as a bait. Demon Blackwind swears to recommend himself to Morgana. He said. Although they are civilian technicians. But if you can become a god, there should be a little bit of fighting power, right? Heifeng, are you a little bit squeamish? You scumbag who has never even been on the battlefield. Atto roared at Heifeng in the laboratory, and then looked at Morgana with a certain face and said. Queen, please let me try one last time. Atto Kiba off to bite. He has a hunch. He will definitely become a god this time. Okay, this thing was originally for you, so you don't have to put too much pressure on it. Morgana waved her hand irritably and instructed Heifeng. Heifeng, satisfy him. Although Atto's successive failures made Morgana feel very heartbroken. But this is the pitfalls of promotion to the divine body. Just face black. No matter how many resources you have, don't even think about upgrading to a god. From this point of view, the three major god-building technologies developed by the space god Principal Kirin before his disappearance can really be called one of the hands of the gods. Such a pity. Except for those three finished products. This craft has been completely lost. Otherwise, the current known universe is probably not as good as a dog after 3 generations and 2 generations. Chapter 365_Atto as a god. Kuroka heard Morgana's order. He was reluctant though. But he could only tear off his waistband with a bitter face. Then, Heifeng took out the Yingbangbang instrument from the inside, and injected the last resource of becoming a god into Atuo's body. Then, Atto howled loudly inside again. After all, the process of being promoted to god is not easy. Especially Atto has been fucked by Heifeng 10 times this night. Even if he is a big devil, he can't stand it. Atto, do your best this time, carefully understand the opportunity to become a god. As long as you find that special point, it is not difficult at all to become a god. Kurokaze cheers Atto up outside the lab. Although Kurofeng has never experienced the feeling of becoming a god. But he had read a description in a mysterious note from his own queen. That should be a description of the process of becoming a god. Finally, after another 3 hours of fluttering in the lab, Atto. He suddenly let out a roar. Immediately after, Yuhi Run suddenly appeared on Atto's face. And at the same time, a violent purple aura that symbolized the devil swept out. Get it all over the place. Blackwind saw such a scene. He quickly tightened his belt, swallowed, and said, Queen. Atto seems to be successful this time. That's right. Such a scene of Blackwind has also been seen on the handbook of his own queen. Just like. The first is to close your eyes. Then the whole body hyperemia becomes Yuhi. Accompanied by increased breathing and heart rate. Then the muscles will have a non-painful spasm. At the same time, fingers will also be involuntarily stuffed into the mouth. Then head up. Open your mouth. Get your legs off. It makes a very strange sound very rhythmically. Finally, the whole body seems to be shaking like an electric shock. The stronger this shivering, the more powerful the divine body finally achieved. So, judging from Atto's current performance, he should be able to become a god. Well, Otto is not bad, but unfortunately, even if he becomes a god, his chicken will not come back. Morgana shook her head. God without chickens. It was the first time she met Morgana. Finally. Accompanied by a dejected howl from Otto in the experimental cabin. He finally became a god. The whole body can be very hard, but only the kind of god who lost the chicken. Boom. The hatch of the laboratory was slammed open by Otto. Otto sweated profusely and walked in front of Morgana. Get down on one knee. Otto looked at Morgana respectfully and said. Thanks to the Queen for cultivating Otto, I feel that my whole body is full of strength now. Please allow me to take revenge on Yi Feng who went to the army of soldiers. I will definitely kill him this time. Actually. Since the tragedy in Wangkun. Otto never mentioned the name Nightwind again. But that's definitely not because Otto has forgotten that hatred. On the contrary. Otto's hatred for Yi Feng had already penetrated into his bones. Whenever it's quiet at night, Otto would cry at the empty place. It was his chicken after all. How could he not avenge it? Do you want to seek revenge on Yi Feng? Morgana shook her head solemnly and persuaded, Otto, everything must be the bigger picture. Let's put the conflict between you and Yi Feng aside for now. Nowadays, focusing on Geisha was Morgana's most important thing at hand. So, Morgana needs Otto to get to Fraser as soon as possible. On the other hand, although Morgana has not officially fought against Yi Feng, but Morgana's sixth sense made her feel that Yi Feng might be stronger than Otto who became a god. So, she can't let Otto go to Yi Feng to get revenge. After all, it was not easy for an African chief like Otto to break through to become a god. She couldn't watch Otto float away like that. Wouldn't it be a big loss if I bury myself again? Not to mention, Morgana had already taken a fancy to Yi Feng. In the past, Morgana was unable to let the angels find the whereabouts of the demons. So, she also didn't dare to use all her strength to deal with Yi Feng. But now it's different. Didn't Carl let her expose herself? Morgana was going to take this opportunity to bring Yi Feng into the demon army and let Yi Feng bow down under her little leather skirt. So, Morgana will not make the conflict between Otto and Yi Feng intensify. At this moment, Yi Feng is telling some very interesting little stories to his girls at the super seminary. This time he told a story about the world of death. Chiangwei and the others were lying in Yi Feng's arms and listened to it with relish all night, but they didn't have enough. Master Feng Feng, you always say that there are 5 nobles in the Soul Realm, but I only heard that you mentioned the Deadwood clan, the Saifengyuan clan, the Zibo clan, and the Tsunayashiro clan. What exactly is the 5th noble family? Chiangwei looked at Yi Feng with great curiosity. We are not ignorant. Why are we so perfunctory? If you don't even think about who the 5 nobles are. Then you said at the beginning that it was the 4 nobles, wouldn't it be good? Why didn't the pit be filled at the beginning? Well, then let's set him as the Yamanaka family. Yi Feng touched his chin and looked at the girls seriously. After all, his big Yamanaka is also the largest clan in the ninja world. It shouldn't be a big problem to have a cameo as a noble in the world of corpses, right? Anyone who dares to say nothing. Then someone at night will have to go and peel an apple in person in the future. Feng Yi, that elder sister called Yi, what is her Zanpakudo? Why have I never seen her use it? Didn't the god of death have Zanpakudo? This time the question is Chi-Rin. Although Yoichi's black cat and Haim form is also very powerful. But she really never used a knife. Well, her knife might have been lost. So she never uses a knife. Yi Feng thought about it. Yi has indeed never used Zanpakudo. So, Yi Feng couldn't even tell her nonsense. After all, this is not in line with Yi Feng's usual style of doing things. He never creates something out of nothing, at most it is Chen Kang in darkness. Feng Yi, Landa is obviously so good, but why didn't he use Benkai until the end? I really want to know what Landa's Benkai is. Wanda showed the appearance of a fangirl. Visually, she has already become a fan of success by that large-scale pretender, Aizen. That's why Aizen is not here. Otherwise, Yifeng would have to go to teach Lan Ran a lesson. Ask him. Do you want to dance too? Even my sister dares to go out. Well, when did you have the illusion that you have never used Bankai? Yifeng smiled faintly. Aizen's problem is the best explained. Chapter 366_Society, You Sister Mo, Renmei Lu Zie. When did you think Aizen never used Bankai? When did you think Aizen was real? When did you think the world of souls was real? When did you think you were thinking? Anyway. Just give Jinghuashuiyu kryptonite. Everything can only be a dream of Wangliang. Yifeng even felt. Maybe his unrepentant life is also a dream. Why did his vice-captain Yakiryu Kusaki never show up after Bankai, the captain of the 11th Division? Could she be Zanpakuto of Kenpachi? Katsuki Rukia obviously has the power to kill 10 broken faces, but at the beginning of the plot, why was she successfully attacked by a common dwarf? What is the origin of the 2 children in the Urahara Kazuki store? Could they be his illegitimate children? Will Ichigo and Rukia become a happy couple in the end? Will Asai Renji go to their wedding? Will he not be able to bear that sense of loss? That's right. After all, it's the story of my good brother getting married to my goddess. Faced with constant questions from the girls, Yifeng suddenly had a feeling that his body was about to be hollowed out. After all, farming is easy. At most, it takes a little waist strength. But it is a very mentally consuming thing to fill the hole for people. These questions of yours, I'll tell you slowly in the future. Yifeng shook his head. No way. To blame can only blame 98-2-pit. It ended just like that. But the girls were puzzled at the moment. Later. Isn't now the future. ... Master Feng, I suddenly think that Zanpakuto, the god of death, is so handsome, or else you can teach us how to play with knives in the future. I want to be Sister Knife. Chirin said suddenly. Chirin felt that she was always hiding in the dark and using sniping to launch sneak attacks. This kind of attack was so boring. It's even more appealing to rush out with a knife and chop people. Well, I'm also going to be a chopper, not an assassin. Playing with a small knife is not as fun as playing with a big knife. Yes, I'm no longer a mage. Killing people is the last word. Then, Yifeng looked at the 3 girls who were about to go astray in his arms. Ino, whom he hadn't seen in over 300 years. Ino is doing well in every way. This was identified by Yifeng. But just because Ino followed Yifeng to practice swordsmanship, his character became rough. She even fell in love with some nasty things in the end. This made Yifeng quite speechless. So, he thinks girls can play with sticks. Play with knives. Yifeng thinks that's fine. Then, it was when Yifeng rejected Chirin's reasonable request. Ready to take them through some heartwarming little games he once played with Ino. A powerful dark energy suddenly rushed in the direction of the super seminary. This dark energy is quite evil. This also made the company of heroes, who had been slackened recently, re-stretched a string. Master Feng, it seems that an enemy is coming. Rin, who has a strong perception ability, took the lead and stood up frowning. Although they are just docile soft girls in front of Yifeng, you can pick it at the hands of the night wind. But they are all warriors in front of the enemy. An indomitable warrior. Looks like Morgana. I'll go out and see first. Yifeng frowned. Although Morgana has been active on Earth frequently during this time, but her usual style of acting is very low-key. Most of the time, I dress up as a cool ice and experience life in China. Playing the role of a second-year-old girl. After all, their demons are used to being chased and killed by angels. Don't dare to float. But what does she want to do when she rushes to the super seminary with full firepower now? In the end, she Morgana is too floating. Or is her holy geisha unable to hold a knife? Whatever the reason. The society is her sister Mo. People beautiful road Zia. Yifeng felt that this time the moth would definitely not be small. Then, Yifeng launched the wings of wind and came to the sky above the super seminary. Really? It wasn't a llama who came from the east, it was really Morgana, the queen of demons. At this time, Morgana put on her smoky makeup look. It's like the non-mainstream of the mixed society. Huh, queen, I found out that Yifeng also seems to have upgraded his divine body. I don't know how he did it. Black Wind's voice rang in Morgana's ear. Morgana came to Super Seminary to find Yifeng for 3 purposes. First, she is to leave the angel with a little more obvious evidence. Second, she was there to recruit Nightwind to her demon army. Third, she wanted to force Yifeng's true strength through battle, and then let Heifeng analyze and study Yifeng's data on Demon 1. So, at this moment, the entire Super Seminary has been completely shrouded in Demon 1's detection system. So Heifeng immediately discovered Yifeng's abnormality. God body. Use the original genes of the earth to upgrade the god body. Then how many generations does his god body count? Morgana smiled and said, this guy Yifeng can really surprise my mother. It is not difficult to see from Otto's upgrade process. Upgrading the divine body is a very painful thing. So, usually, only genetically enhanced warriors can endure the devastation of the upgrade. But the Night Wind can also do it. Does that mean that his original body is also very hard? How did you do it? Is this real? Record this question as a subject that will be tested in the future. Morgana shook her head. Yifeng really didn't let her down, and when he came up, he gave her such a big surprise. If Morgana remembers correctly, some time ago, when Yifeng took her to dance, it wasn't a divine body, right? Then, Morgana flew to Yifeng's side. The two looked at each other. Feng smiled lightly and said, Morgana, do you demons think that you can do it again? How dare you come to the Super Seminary to be presumptuous? Aren't you afraid that Pippi will be beaten? Ha, that's right, my devil is just like that, you can try to beat me if you have the ability. Morgana's mouth twitched. A wicked smile appeared. She Demon Queen was originally a scholar. So she is easily reluctant to fight with others. But that doesn't mean Morgana is a weak chicken. Morgana came here today to show Yifeng the true strength of her Demon Queen. She will use her strength to conquer Yifeng. Make her kneel under her little leather pants. At this time, Sun Wukong also flew up. Master Feng, who is this female bodhisattva? How dare you be so arrogant? Do you want my old grandson to educate her for you with an iron rod? Chapter 367_Want to eat. Sun Wukong flew forward and took out the stick, pointing diagonally at Morgana. The arrogance is arrogant. And at the same time, Dukao also rushed out of the office building with a fully armed company of soldiers. This time, after all, it was the notorious demon Queen Morgana. Dukao didn't dare to take it lightly. Hee, little monkey, you are so arrogant. Believe it or not, Queen, I will use Wujishin to suppress you. Morgana pinched her waist and smiled. Isn't it a divine river beast body? Although not good. But Morgana wasn't too frightened by a monkey. Arrogant, eat my grandson. Sun Wukong saw that Morgana despised him so much. I was furious in my heart. He picked up the iron rod and jumped over Morgana's head. Hit the stick with both hands. But Morgana smiled indifferently. Grab your hand. Boom. A dark, monstrous hand suddenly appeared, as if it could crush the void, and grabbed Sun Wukong's wishful golden hoop. A monkey is a monkey, there is no politeness at all, just do it when you come up, is this really okay? Morgana smiled disdainfully, and then flicked her big black hand back, knocking Sun Wukong back. Although the process of this confrontation may seem simple. But Morgana's strength is a bit apprehensive to Sun Wukong. This demon queen is much stronger than Reina. Bad fight. Morgana, you are so pretentious at the entrance of our super seminary, what are you trying to do? Dukao looked at Morgana with a dazzling gaze. He felt that something big might be going on today. Yo, isn't this Dukao the war madman? Morgana glanced at Dukao with disdain, and sneered. If the queen hadn't been in a good mood recently, just because you yelled at me like that, you would have scored 8 points today. Morgana is not a good person though. But she also didn't have a good impression of a war madman like Dukao. After all, their demons are just seeking to liberate their free nature. Those wars were forced to fight by angels. Without angels, demons have long been the freest civilization in the known universe. Morgana, it's almost enough to slap the mouth. What do you want to do? Yifeng directly asked the point in one sentence. If Yifeng didn't guess wrong. The reason why Morgana is so floating. It must be because she has come to an agreement with Carl. They are ready to kill God. They're going to hit Geisha. Yifeng, I'm here to find you this time. Didn't I say last time that I like you? Do I want you to go back with me and be my warrior? How are you thinking? Morgana smiled. Warriors like Yifeng. Morgana couldn't find it even with a lantern. So, since she met her, she naturally wouldn't let it go easily. Considering. Consider what? Didn't I tell you clearly before? As long as you will be my woman. On behalf of the company, I can recruit your demon army. Otherwise don't talk. Yifeng said lightly. Yifeng is not interested in being a demon. But he was very interested in the man who became the demon queen. After all, Yifeng, like most people, likes the combination of Rose and Liangbing very much. So, Yifeng felt that it would be too impersonal to separate Qiangwei from Liangbing. It's better to have them all neat and tidy. Morgana. Don't be delusional. How could Lord Feng join your demons? Our company of soldiers is at odds with the devil. Rose Silver Kiba bit her tightly, and the pair of black dark alloy wings on her back started, and flew to Yifeng's side. Although the Rose in some parallel time and space may be involved with Morgana. But here, Rose's orientation is normal. So, she had no good impression of Morgana at all. Time and space Rosé, you are really beautiful, but you still need to continue to grow, so step back first. I'm talking to Yifeng, you can't interrupt. Morgana smiled. The time and space genes in Rose are Morgana's lifelong love. But, when Morgana discovered that Yifeng could use the power of time and space without using genes and wormholes, Morgana felt like she had one more love in her life. You, Qiangwei said with a Yuhi expression on her face, who said I can't interrupt. Rose would like to say. Interject. This girl is professional. You don't understand at all. Next. Dukao activated the god-killing combat mode, and used repulsion to send Lena and Thornton into the air. There are a few of them in the air to deal with. Dukao felt that Morgana shouldn't be able to cause too much trouble. It's so fragrant, where is this female bun from? How can it be so fragrant? Thornton watched as Morgana began to drool. After all, it was the first time that Thornton had smelled such a special scent. Fragrant. Fragrance is right, do you want to eat it? Morgana glanced at Thornton, her voice full of temptation. Eat. I want to eat. Thornton scratched his head naively and said, but Lord Feng said that I am not allowed to eat people on Earth. No way. Thornton has now been raised by Yifeng into a crocodile baby of good character. I have already given up eating people. It's okay, I'm not from the Earth, come and eat if you want. Morgana smiled. She felt that Thornton, the crocodile, was silly and cute. In terms of atmosphere, perfect for joining her demon army. Ah, that's something you can think about. But let's have the next meal. I ate quite a lot today. Thornton thought about it seriously. After all, Lord Feng said. Don't eat too much. Otherwise, it is easy to overeat. Ha ha ha, you are really stupid. Queen, my body is fragrant. You are a fart. Morgana couldn't help laughing, and then said. Ben, I think you're good, how about messing with me in the future? Hear Morgana's invitation. Thornton shook his head like a rattle and said. That's not good. I eat, drink, live, and live here. I won't go with you. I will always be with Lord Feng. Thornton said. His stomach has been firmly tied by the night wind. He has been a fish in the night wind all his life. No one wants to dig his walls. It's easy. Then wait until I get Yi Feng first, and then you can join my demon army with him. Morgana smiled lightly. If this buy one get one deal can be made tonight, then Morgana will make a lot of money tonight. Female bun, don't have your big spring dreams there. Thornton let out a cold snort from his nose and said. Just because of our lineup, if you want meat, and output, it would be good if you can leave completely. Thornton said. Feng Yi's sisters are only 3 now. There is still one missing for playing mahjong. If you add this demon queen, it seems to be enough. Chapter 368 _ give you 2 choices. Che, isn't it the level of a few 3-generation gods? Morgana raised her eyes and laughed disdainfully. Do you really think the queen will be afraid of you? You can't do it at all. Although Morgana has to face Yi Feng, Sun Wukong, Reina, Thornton, these melon skins. But she didn't panic at all. After all, she is the demon queen Morgana. Emma, the big girl in the sky, can you please stop saying no to us? We gentlemen don't like to hear the word no from girls. You can't do it. Lu Chuang weighed the axe in his hand. If not, he can't fly. He had long wanted to rush up and cut people. After all, his big axe has yet to hit God. That's right, hurry up and give it to your Lord Shin. I'll get down on my knees and sing conquest, or I'll show you what a gun is like a dragon. Xin Zhao raised his eyebrows and said arrogantly. Don't look at our nickname as chicken feather letter. But when it floats up, it floats more than anyone else. That's right, wait a minute to see if I'm going to split the brain first. Then Yaoan uses a stone to control her, and then let the letter shoot out like a dragon. Zhe Xiaolun smiled, indicating that this is a normal operation. In the face of such a heroic company, Morgana smiled dismissively. You want to play crowd tactics, right? Do you think your heroic company is really good enough to fight? Morgana glanced at Du Cao and said, War madman, I'm here to look for Yefeng. If people dare to take action, do you think I will bomb your earth with divine scourge? Morgana is not a woman who likes to fight. So, she is not particularly willing to go with a group of melon-skinned hard steel in the Shangbing company. So, Haifeng, the first smart devil of the demon army, came up with this perfect tactic for her. As long as the earth is used as a threat, wouldn't the company not dare to intervene? Want to use the earth to blackmail us? Why don't you just use the earth to blackmail me into joining your demon army? Nightwind shrugged. He didn't panic at all. After all, a place as special as Earth. Even if the gods in the universe fall, the Earth must be a piece of shit too. Just ask if you are satisfied. Huh, why didn't I think of that? Hee, that's a good idea. Go back with the queen or I'll blow up the Earth. Morgana smiled slyly. She felt that Yi Feng was right. She originally wanted to conquer Yi Feng by fighting. But, wouldn't it be better to just use the earth to coerce? Isn't this simpler and faster? Black Wind is most likely a brain dead, right? Is he really the first smart devil in the demon army? Should I go back and re-evaluate? Morgana, haven't I already told you the conditions for joining the Demon Legion? Don't talk about anything unless you become my woman. As for the earth, I will stand in front of you, and you will bomb me with a scourge. Yi Feng narrowed his eyes. A flagship-like demon one can't even handle Geisha. The night wind is naturally impossible to do. But Yi Feng is an all-knowing almighty player. He knows the importance of Earth to Carl and Morgana. It is absolutely impossible for Morgana to choose to shoot the earth at this time. As expected, Morgana saw Yi Feng's unrepentant look. His face finally changed. Humph, Yi Feng, I'll give you two choices. One is to give you what you want, except for my body. The second is to beat you. Morgana stuck her waist, looking at the night wind with a domineering face. The old lady's body is very fragrant. After all, this is the child's body that has already taken care of the three Eternals. But the body is not what you want. You can have it if you want it. Oh, that's nothing to talk about. After all, I'm only interested in your body. The voice fell. Yi Feng suddenly disappeared in place. Next moment, he appeared behind Morgana. A kick hit a plump part of Morgana. Whoosh! Morgana was kicked out by the night wind like a cannonball. Damn, don't even shout at the beginning. You are so shameless. Morgana flew back into the air and returned to the battlefield cursing, let you see how powerful the queen is. Morgana's voice fell. The purple demonic breath all over her body began to swirl in transpiration, and it was connected to the battle system of Demon Number 1, protecting her whole body from the night wind sneak attack. Immediately after, Morgana stretched out her right hand in Yi Feng's direction and grabbed it. Boom! A majestic dark energy immediately enveloped Yi Feng. Yi Feng felt as if the space around him was shackled. The instant body technique can't be activated anyway. Ha ha ha, this trick of mine is called Tianluoduang, which can imprison time and space. I see how you can show off. Morgana laughed, then pinched her waist with her left hand, swiped her right hand in the air, and a blade of flame slashed towards Yi Feng's waist. And at the same time, Morgana secretly instructed Hei Feng, watch this Yi Feng carefully for me. Let's see how he breaks through my time and space blockade. Morgana is not a fool. She came over to show off the operation. Except to recruit Yi Feng. She also plans to collect the real data of Yi Feng through this fight. After all, Yi Feng's moves cannot be explained by science. Morgana was very curious. As expected, that flame was about to pass Yi Feng's body. Feng activated Horizon to appear behind Morgana. But Morgana has now successfully connected with Demon 1's combat system. Demon 1 uses powerful computing power to instantly open a wormhole, allowing Morgana to escape. Whoosh! The two distanced themselves again. Queen. Yi Feng did not use any micro-wormhole technology when the space transfer occurred just now. But I found a very strange and suspected spatial instability in the place where he disappeared and where he appeared. The Black Wind's voice was full of surprise. The detailed data of the night wind launching Horizon. It's amazing. Space instability. What kind of black technology is this special code? Morgana frowned. In the world of Super Seminary, although a god with time and space genes can instantly cross space. But the premise of all this is that the space is in a stable state. And now, Hei Feng actually told her that Yi Feng could make the space unstable. What is the principle? Hang up. Not sure. Black Wind shook his head. Although his queen is one of the top gods in the universe. But in all fairness, Morgana's achievements in the field of technology have been thrown away by Geisha and Karl. So, want to explore the unconventional problem of spatial instability? Maybe it's up to them. Chapter 369 _ Can you bet? That's it. Give me the maximum computing power. I want to compare it with Yi Feng to see who has the faster space-time computing power. Morgana and Yi Feng use different ways to dominate space, though. But play like them. Naturally, whoever counts the fastest will be bullied. So, Morgana decided to go all out. She didn't think Yi Feng could keep up with her and the entire Demon 1's computing power. Then, this time, it was Morgana who took the initiative to attack. I saw her figure flash. It flashed directly in front of Yi Feng, his right fist clenched tightly, and the small fist seemed to want to smash Yi Feng's chest. After all, she knew Yifeng would definitely hide. So she didn't use much force in this punch. But Yifeng did not choose to dodge this time. He directly grabbed Morgana's small fist. Then smiled. Art is a blast. Boom. An incomparably blazing light bloomed in Yifeng's hands. This scene made Reina know that she was an expert. Yifeng, how could he also drive the sun to shine Madara? It's not scientific. Although the Sunyao Madara drive technology is not the only one in the Liang family. For example, the angel Hexi also understands. But Reina never knew Yifeng could do that too. He had hidden so much power before. Or say, Yifeng thinks they are all weak chickens. The weak chicken is not worth his normal shot at all. But think about it. She is a dignified sun goddess. The first time I met Yifeng, I was dominated by Yifeng's feathers. It doesn't seem like you really need to be serious. After an explosion, Morgana let out a foul language. Subsequently, her body suddenly became fragmented, and she cleverly used time-space technology to decompose and transmit her whole body through the micro-wormhole, avoiding the sudden attack of Yifeng. Black Wind. What's with this special code? How did Yifeng create the big explosion just now? Morgana roared at the black wind in her mind. Although she doesn't have to worry that she will be killed by Yifeng with this single attack. But her demon queen came here this time to pretend. Under the public. If she was really blown up by the night wind, she would not cover her body. How embarrassing that is. The most important thing for her demon queen is face. It seems to be similar to Liang's Yao Madara drive technology, but I did not perceive the existence of biological systems in Yifeng's body, not even the most rubbish one. Heifeng lightly rubbed his eyebrows, which did not exist at all. He said, things have become increasingly unscientific. At the same time, Yifeng also reminisced about Morgana's move to avoid skills just now. To be frank, this move is very unreasonable. Almost the same as his clone technique in the Ninja World Master. Anytime God doesn't want you to get hit, this skill will hit you. But when the intention wants you to take the box lunch, this skill is impossible to release. The original Hyuga Neji has a say in this. Countless black sticks attacked. Hyuga Neji, I want to block this trick with revolving heaven. Should be no problem. Providence, no, you don't want to. Neji, PFF'd. Pawn. Yifeng, you're hiding so deep. You even have Liang's skills. Could it be that you have some special relationship with that little girl Lena? Morgana calmed herself down. Let the two mountains stabilize first. Otherwise, the balance is not easy to master. Morgana, you are not allowed to talk nonsense. Lena suddenly turned Yuhi's face and shouted loudly, I and Yifeng are innocent. Nothing has happened. Reina was telling the truth. After all, she is the goddess of the sun. How could it possibly have anything to do with an earthling? As for parents, that can't be true at all. That's right, nothing happened to Lena and this Madara technique is not from the sun. You will all understand in the future. Nightwind shrugged. Anyway, he explained everything. But every time he told others that he was taking a fantasy route, no one believed it at all. So, what else can he do at night? Can only talk about it later. For example, Chiangwei and the others already believed it. Yifeng, I'm very satisfied with your performance. But it also made me make up my mind. I must bring you back to the Demon Legion today. You mustn't let those angels go cheap. Morgana narrowed her eyes slightly. She is finally serious. Morgana suddenly realized now that what Yifeng said to her in Wangkun was not bragging. After all, such an excellent male god like Yifeng, worthy of Angel's love. So, Morgana couldn't let Yifeng fall into the arms of the angel. After all, how can there be her warmth in the embrace of an angel? Cut, if it's useful if you make up your mind, then what's the use of this iron rod for my grandson? Sun Wukong let out a sneer. In his opinion anyway. It is impossible for this demon queen to win the alliance of several of them. Yefeng, do you dare to make a bet with me? Morgana ignored Sun Wukong's sarcasm. She raised the corner of her eyes and looked at Yefeng, revealing a very cunning look. Needless to say, it must be the first clever devil of the little clever ghost under her hand, the Black Wind Devil, who has helped her come up with a good idea again. Oh, bet what? Yifeng shrugged indifferently. To be honest, Morgana isn't a villain in the traditional sense either. Even though Yifeng was fighting with her. But not to the point of beating to death. It's okay for everyone to swing and swing happily with each other. After all, you have a lot of things to do in the future. After all, I'm Morgana, the Queen of Demons. In this known universe, apart from Geisha, I'm the biggest Morgana, so I can't bully you. Morgana put her hands on her hips. With one hand, he raised his thumb towards his brother's mouth. See this scene. Although the girls of the Shangbing company were a little unconvinced. But they bowed their heads. Then they fell silent. Sure enough, no one is big. It makes sense, then you can continue talking. Yifeng shrugged again. No way. Whoever is bigger speaks first. This is a matter of etiquette in the heavens and the world. No child's play. Good. It would be so unfair to you if this queen is swinging with you here with all her firepower. So I have only 3 moves. If you can block my 3 moves without using the time and space technique, even if you win, how? Morgana smiled faintly. It's a pity that she hasn't read Mr. Jin's novel. Otherwise she would know for sure. Anyone who makes such a request will surely lose in the end. I like this way of fighting, but what's the stake? Yifeng touched his chin. He looked at Moana's body with seriousness. Isn't it 3 moves? Not a big problem. Chapter 370 _ then I'll bet your body with my body. The stakes are simple. If you lose, you can honestly go home with me and be an unscrupulous demon warrior under me. If you win, I can help you upgrade the space-time gene in Du Qiangwei's body to the 3rd generation. How is it? Do you think you've made a lot of money whether you win or lose? After Morgana finished speaking, a sly smile appeared on his face. The space-time rose was originally something that belonged to her. It is also a matter of time to upgrade Rose. So, no matter who wins or loses this gamble, her demon queen is not at all a loss. And Morgana also already knew the special relationship between Du Qiangwei and Yifeng. Presumably because of the level of intimacy between the two of them. It was impossible for Yifeng to refuse her such bet in person. Otherwise, to know the girl to the girl, Rose will definitely not give that when she goes back. Anyway, whoever feels uncomfortable at that time will know in his heart. But it's a pity. Even Morgana could not count Yifeng as a cheating player. Du Qiangwei's favorability towards Yifeng has long been ruthlessly locked by the system. It can only increase, not decrease. So, Yifeng decisively rejected Morgana's proposal. It doesn't matter if I lose and you go to the Demon Legion, but if I win, I will be your Devil's King, your man, you know. Yifeng said lightly. Now, Yifeng's single combat power is already strong enough. But in such a world, if there is no civilization to follow, it will be a bit too cheap. So, Yifeng intends to incorporate demons. Take them to battle the Star Territory together. Clean up the devil. As for the time and space genes of Roses, if Yifeng has managed Morgana, can't she still upgrade with Sorrowful Rosé? Want to be my Morgana's man? Your physiological impulses are really stable. Morgana smiled with complicated eyes, calmly analyzed and thought for a while, and then said decisively, okay. I promise you that's all. Although Morgana was very moved by Yifeng's persistence. But she didn't think she would lose. After all, she is the Devil Queen. Biggest god in the known universe other than Geisha. At this time, Black Wind's voice rang in Morgana's ear. Queen, How can you agree to such an unreasonable request? Are you not afraid of losing your body to that Yifeng? Black Wind said earnestly. It's not that Haifeng doesn't believe in the strength of his queen. Haifeng was just worried about Morgana's sudden urge to spring. Take the opportunity to give yourself away. Then what kind of face will their demons have in the future? After all, their demons are always in a daze, and all kinds of sleazy operations are possible. Damn it, don't be fooling around here. How could the mother lose? If the mother loses, you will be struck by thunder from the sky. Even the chicken will be scorched by you. Morgana cursingly responded to the first smart demon under her command. Hi, the queen made such a stern vow, it seems that this time it should be stable. Haifeng sat in the command room and nodded solemnly. But the demon intern sitting next to Haifeng couldn't help but reminded. Brother Haifeng, isn't you the one the queen used to swear by? Why don't you feel any problem at all? At this time, Haifeng glanced at the little guy next to him with disdain, and said confidently. What do you know? I've been the queen's favorite since Atto was cut. Since the queen used me to swear, it means she is very serious this time. How could there be a problem? Although the demon intern is a little bit difficult to understand the logic of the Black Wind boss. But just nod. After all, this is logic that only smart people can understand. ... Over the super seminary, Morgana and Yefeng stood face to face. The boys of the Shangbing company watched the two of them nervously. Especially Dukao. He has been on Earth for more than 1,000 years. Now, he finally cultivated the heroic company. In case the Night Wind really loses. Don't say anything else. Rose Chi-Rin Wanda must have followed Yifeng. Sun Wukong and Thornton can't keep it either. Until then, there was only one Reina left in the company of heroes who could support the scene. Then what else did they have? Just because of him, Jie Shaolun can really cut through the void. Believe it or not. Anyway, Dukao, doesn't believe it. Morgana, hurry up, after all, a spring night is worth $1,000. Yifeng's mouth twitched, his eyes swept over Morgana's body wantonly. Humph. You must first make sure that you have such a blessing. Morgana's voice fell. Her left hand moved slightly in the direction of Yifeng. Immediately after, a purple-black wormhole exuding a demonic aura suddenly appeared in front of her. Rustling. Silver-white chains stained with strange flames filed out of the wormhole. Chain shears. Like a serpent dancing wildly. It exudes a terrifying aura. Go straight in the direction of the night wind. Then, Yifeng pulled the ghost out, and gently picked up the chain that was ushering in, blocking all Morgana's attacks lightly. Morgana, I don't think you should use this kind of gesture of fooling a child. After all, everyone is an old driver. Yifeng smiled faintly. The ghost knife swept across. A majestic sword force soared into the sky with stellar energy. Cut Morgana's chains directly. See this scene. Morgana couldn't help frowning. Don't look at what Yifeng said is very light. But Morgana knows how powerful her chains are. These chains are all made of dark silver. The surroundings of the chain are extremely sharp. And the flame on the surface is also a flame called alien fire that Morgana found from a lonely ancient civilization. So, this combo is quite powerful. This was a surprise that Morgana was going to give Geisha. But now it seems. She probably shouldn't use this to deal with Geisha. Otherwise, you will be slapped in the face again. Hey Feng, has the data been analyzed? How did he do it just now, and did he fail? Morgana calmly retracted the Ansu silver chain and communicated with Heifeng on the dark plane. Queen, judging from the data collected by the dark matter sensor at the tip of the chain, Yifeng's knife is neither copper, nor iron, nor steel, and its sharpness is not inferior to that of the dark silver. The Black Wind's tone was slightly dignified. He is the most intelligent demon in the demon army, the Black Wind demon. Over the years, I have followed Morgana to many places in the universe. It can be considered to have seen a lot of big worlds. But he had never seen a weapon like Yifeng. But Haifeng has seen a few strange verses in the ruins of an ancient civilization. There are several artifacts that are very close to Yifeng's sword. I don't know if it's just a coincidence. Chapter 371 _ The Night Wind That Ignites Fighting Spirit. Those verses are very simple. Is neither copper nor iron nor steel, and was once hidden under Mount Sumeru. Without reversing yin and yang, how can there be no water and fire to quench the edge? Zhu Shanli. Kill the immortals. Trapped immortal Yuhi light everywhere. Zhu Xian's changes are infinitely wonderful, Deluo Jin Xian's blood dyes his clothes. Although these verses are very rhymed and easy to read, Kuroka still has not been able to understand the true meaning of these words. Just like where is Mount Nasumi? What is this big Luo Jinxian? Black Wind was completely clueless. Of course. It's not that Haifeng thinks Yifeng's sword must have something to do with these verses. He just suddenly thought of these, and then he was madly in his mind for a long time. Are you saying this is irritating or not? Okay, Yifeng. Originally, I wanted to play a little game of tying with you, but I didn't expect you to not cooperate. Then I'm going to be serious. If you're afraid, it doesn't matter if you admit defeat in advance. Morgana smiled faintly. Although her first move was a bit sloppy. But her most powerful weapon is not those dark silver chains. It's her demonic claw. Then Morgana's left hand stretched forward. Her 5 fingers were like sky hooks, crystal clear like jade. At the same time, the swarthy demonic claws appeared out of thin air again. This weapon seems unremarkable though. But Devil's Claw can be attacked and accepted. Morgana's unique time and space engine is also loaded inside. Can imprison targets caught by it. But Morgana didn't know Yifeng's spatial ability. So she didn't plan to trap Yifeng with demon claws. She is ready to hammer directly. Then, after Morgana carried the Devil's Claw out, she slapped Yifeng directly and called out. Just see. The Devil's Claw is full of purple and black devil breath. Exuding awe-inspiring magic light, it pressed towards the top of Yifeng's head. This blow is extremely powerful. In the face of such a terrible attack, Yifeng stood with a knife. Stand still. As if he no matter what kind of attack he faces. As long as there are ghosts in hand, it can be cut with a knife. Then, next moment, the Night Wind Ghost Knife is in the sky. An astonishing chill erupted from the blade. Penultimate level ice demonic energy seems to be able to freeze the void. Click. Click. Ka-kacha. Morgana's big black hand patted directly on the ice created by Yifeng's cold air. There was a deafening terrifying noise. But Yifeng's icy demonic energy finally successfully blocked the demon's claw above his head. Fog grass. You can actually drive ice and fire at the same time. Is this special code to play ice and fire with the old lady? Do you want to be so stingy? Morgana glared at Yifeng cursingly, and the fragrance leaked from Tan's mouth. Strange. The cold air that Yifeng just unleashed was created by the strange creature in his body. The temperature is extremely low, and it is already close to absolute zero. Haifeng quickly completed the data analysis of Yifeng's moves. In the world of Super Seminary, although there are some civilizations that are good at controlling the power of ice, but they usually use dark energy to make ice. Never heard of anyone making ice from bioenergy. And the temperature created by those civilizations is definitely not as pure as Yifeng. After all, absolute zero is the limit of existence. So, what the hell happened to this night wind? Even if it's open and hung up, it can't be so excessive, right? Morgana, there's one last move left. You'd better give some strength, or I'll have to go back and pack a few futons. Nightwind shrugged. Morgana's proposed gamble seemed at first glance to be in her own favor. But in fact, behind Morgana, there is a whole devil one to support. if she chooses to be flexible. The night wind is really not very good. But the stance is different. Morgana kept just a few tricks over and over again. Yifeng's use of force to harden her demonic claws is not wrong at all. I don't know who kicked her brain to come up with such a bad idea. It seems that my demon queen is underestimated. Morgana sneered. Next, let you see what a real god is. As expected by the night wind, Morgana's next method is nothing more than to carry out the two demon claws. Then, both paws were merged and reconstructed. It turned into a larger black claw. Although the bigger the body, the more powerful it is, not necessarily stronger. But after the devil's claw merged, the two energies combine. It really exudes a more terrifying power than before. Yifeng, I'll ask you again, are you convinced? Morgana looked at Yifeng with a dazzling gaze. This trick goes down. Morgana thought she would definitely win. But Yifeng's waist might be damaged. So Morgana was also very hesitant. She still felt that it would be the best outcome if Yifeng could find his way back. Don't worry about Morgana, I want to see, what are your so-called fourth-generation gods? Yifeng's eyes were dull. He was not affected by the oppression of the devil's claw at all. On the contrary, there was a fire in his eyes. That is a kind of fiery that can finally make a full shot. 300 years. He has been salting fish for 300 years. For fear of killing the little friends with force. Today, he finally ignited the urge to cut everything with one knife. Then, the fighting spirit in their hearts was instantly ignited. Morgana was heartbroken. Controlling her strongest weapon, she slapped Yifeng's head with a slap. Boom! A monstrous black hand descended from the sky. A terrifying monster glows through. Such an attack is not yet complete. The sky above the entire super seminary has been covered with this terrible energy fluctuation. Sun Wukong Lena Thornton has a divine body. But they still felt a very heavy pressure. If not, they trust Yifeng. This moment. They must have already rushed to save people. Who cares about martial arts or not? As for the other small partners of the Shangbing Company, they are under this coercion. Already starting to tremble. But the night wind is different. Yifeng always stood in the same place with a flat expression like at the beginning. Feng Qingyan calmly watched the huge palm above his head fall. Finally, seeing that the palm is about to be shot on the head of the knight, he finally made his move. Ghost out of the sheath. A dazzling cold light shone on the blade. This trick is very simple. Yifeng just swung the ninja sword out. A flat cut. No excess energy spills over. But it was such a seemingly unremarkable move. But it really blocked the descent of Morgana's monstrous hand. You can, but do you think that's all I have? Kuroka, give me more power. Chapter 372_Terrible Providence. Morgana let out a light drink. Immediately after, the energy on Demon 1 began to be continuously transmitted to the demon's claw. The dark big hand instantly became extremely heavy. Yifeng finally felt a little tired. But it's not like he didn't have a whole card. Then, he finally showed his cards. Sage mode activated. Yifeng activates Sage mode. In the surrounding air, the majestic dark energy began to gather in Yifeng's body as if attracted by a black hole. Yifeng's power suddenly increased several times. Then, Yifeng gathered all his strength in the right hand holding the knife. On the ghost's blade, black knives. Yuhi color flame. Silver ice. Blue lightning. Golden Gudodama truth-seeking ball. All kinds of rays of light are constantly spinning and jumping on the blade. Finally, a complex burst of light flashed. Morgana's devil's claw was finally cut off by Yifeng. Boom! A violent roar resounded through the sky. The ground buildings of the super seminary were directly impacted by the aftermath of this blow. But, at this time, no one will care about the destroyed buildings of the super seminary. They looked at Yifeng as if they were gods. The scene was extremely quiet. Until Thornton's stomach made a rumbling sound. Morgana, you lost. Yifeng took Goosh back to the system space and looked at his trophies with a smile. You can start removing makeup, otherwise the current look may affect my interest. After all, the cold form is Yifeng's favorite. Smoky makeup doesn't work. At this moment, Haifeng stood in front of the big screen and gave a big urination shock. This can't be done. Even though the night wind has become a god. But he doesn't even have a system. There is no such thing as the most spicy chicken. With just one physical body, he can handle the strongest blow of the Queen of Steel. This is not scientific. Morgana looked at the monstrous hand that was split in half in midair. His expression froze. After a long time, she glanced at Yifeng with complicated eyes. There was a smirk. Cut, it's okay to restore light makeup, but you want to play futon with my mother. You think it's beautiful. Morgana curled her lips. This is to overthrow the old lady. How can it be so easy? Then, Morgana removed the smoky makeup from her face, showing off her beautiful face. Turned into ice. This moment, Yifeng's girls finally understood why their master Feng liked Morgana. Turn out to be. Morgana's true appearance is so unbelievable. Hey, we agreed. In front of so many people, is it possible that you have to break your promise? Yifeng shrugged. He certainly didn't expect Morgana to surrender to him just because of a gamble. Just like he wouldn't really follow Morgana to become a demon just because of a gamble. Everyone is a scene. What he said was meant to be a joke. Anyone who understands. Hee, you expect the devil to keep his promise, you're not Shilezi. Morgana curled her lips. What's wrong with reneging on promises? Break your word to get fat. This is how her demon queen stays in shape. Okay, let's change the bet. As long as I'm here in the future, you're not allowed to wear heavy makeup. Isn't this requirement too much? Yifeng shrugged again. Although Morgana did not send her body to the door as agreed. But Yifeng's system can't deceive anyone. At this moment, Morgana's favorability for Yifeng has soared to 86 points. Seeing that there is still a point, they will be done. So, Yifeng is not in a hurry. After all, it is also very interesting to play and develop slowly. I like light makeup on my mother, that's fine. Morgana Tsunere curled her lips. Light makeup, light makeup. After all, Morgana made herself look like a ghost, just to be more gregarious with the demon warriors. Otherwise, if she kept such a peerless face every day, she would dangle in the pile of demons. Can they take it? In the end, is there any woman in the world who doesn't love beauty? It's not bad for Morgana to take this opportunity to restore her cool ice form. Presumably her demon brothers can also understand. The heart of the Angel's Nebula is called the Merlot Heaven. The tone of the entire Merlot Heaven is white. There is an inexplicable holiness everywhere. At this moment, Geisha is lying comfortably in her private bathhouse taking a bath. I want to calm my mind a little bit. Because something happened not long ago that she still couldn't understand. How could it be all Yifeng? Geisha shook his head. Not long ago, Hexi, the king of Tianji, suggested that Geisha use the treasure house of sacred knowledge to calculate for Angel Juxin and Angel Yan who was the best match for them in this known universe. To be frank, this calculation is normal. After all, the more excellent the gene, the more it should be passed on. This is in line with the core values of the entire universe. But, after Geisha made some calculations with the treasure house of divine knowledge, the answer given by the treasure house shocked Geisha. Because, whether it is Angel Yan or Angel Juxin, the best matching male god given by the treasure house of sacred knowledge turned out to be that earthling called Yifeng. This made Geisha feel very unusual. Then, Geisha casually gave her and Hexi a calculation. Result. The best match for the four of them turned out to be Yifeng. But how is this possible? She is Holy Geisha, Queen of angelic civilization, the supreme god of the known universe. How could she possibly be genetically matched with an earthling? Then, Geisha calculated Angel Chase and Angel Leng again. The results shocked her again. She no longer even dared to use the treasure house of divine knowledge to calculate this matter. Because Geisha is worried that the treasure house of divine knowledge will tell her that all female angels can only match Yi Feng. If that happens, what will their angels feel in the future? Could it be that Merlot Heavenly Court is going to be changed into Yifeng's harem? I think maybe your treasure house of sacred knowledge was hacked by that earthling called Yifeng. Holy Geisha. It's been a long time since they ate fruit and took a bath together like now. If it is true that the treasure house of sacred knowledge has been hacked, I will not be worried. After all, it is just an additional unknown enemy with super high-tech level. Geisha glanced at Hexie with a stern look. Being attacked is not terrible. The scary thing is that it is God's will. Although Geisha has always emphasized in the known universe, there is no providence in this world, and there are no void creatures. But who can say fate? Chapter 373 Pengu Civilization. Providence is the hardest to guess. It's like when Geisha wasn't the Heavenly Blade King back then. She had been knocked unconscious by Hua Yi, the king of Tiangong, and put her on her shoulders. Seeing that she was about to fall into a doom. But Hua Yi suddenly got excited hemorrhoids. Geisha keeps her innocence. So, the greatest will of heaven and earth is the most flawless sentence. I have carefully analyzed Yi Feng's data, and it's really amazing. It's completely different from our current master's knowledge structure. She smiled lightly and said, so, maybe he is really the world's favorite. Hexie and Geisha are both great gods who have lived for more than 30,000 years. They have long seen things between men and women very plain. So, although Hexie and Geisha were eating fruit, they were facing each other. But talk about men. But without any scruples. What kind of genius? I think he probably got the inheritance of an ancient civilization by chance. Geisha shook his head, then a sharp look appeared in his eyes, and said, for example, hundreds of millions of years ago. The Pengu civilization. Quote. Pengu civilization is a very mysterious ancient civilization. According to Hexie's research, it has been at least 300 million years since the collapse of the Pengu civilization. And between the Pengu civilization and the Shenhe civilization, there seems to be a long gap in civilization. Such white space itself is very abnormal. Thus, Karl, the god of death, came up with the ultimate fear theory based on his research on the Pengu civilization. That is Karl's guess about the creator. Only gods of this level. To control everything in a 13.7 billion-year-old universe. Oh. What? You are finally willing to mention the Pengu civilization again. Tianji Wang Hexie covered his mouth and smiled. The Pengu civilization is real. Nowadays, the remains of the Pengu civilization are located in a mysterious place in the known universe. But, although the Pengu civilization has been destroyed for hundreds of millions of years, but inside that weird nebula is always full of dangers. Even if Geisha and Hexie are super strong, they can only explore on the edge of the Pengu civilization. There's no way to get in there at all. So is Karl. I deny the Pengu civilization, and the ultimate fear, isn't it still to maintain the justice of this universe? Geisha looked far into the distance. She is the king of the gods in the known universe. Spare no effort to let the angels maintain the peace and justice of the known universe. Now, they finally established a righteous order belonging to angels in the known universe. But if void creatures really exist, if they are just some data in the world created by the void creatures, what's the point of what the angel did? What is the value of struggle? By that time, the known universe is bound to fall into boundless chaos. In Geisha's view, her sister, Lian Bing, was the first among the angels to fall into chaos. Liang Bing believes that since the ultimate fear will eventually come and destroy all civilizations, why don't they have fun while they are alive? So, Liang Bing transformed into Morgana, the demon queen. Began to spread her free and depraved thoughts all over the universe. It is for this reason. Gai Shikai firmly denies the existence of the Pengu civilization and forbids the angels to talk about the ultimate fear. But, although Gaisha's superficial skills are relatively perfect. But in fact, Gaisha tacitly allowed Hexi to continue his research on Pengu civilization and ultimate fear. To be honest, Gaisha is deeply against the idea of ultimate fear. However, if the ultimate fear does come one day, Gaisha is the strongest patron saint of the known universe. She must have enough power to protect this universe. Otherwise, what's the point of her justice? I think it's better for me to go to the earth myself, maybe I can find some answers in Yifeng. Hexi picked with his right hand. A glass of star wine exuding faint starlight was carried out from the wormhole. He casually took a sip. Wait first, I always have a very special feeling recently, like a big event is going to happen. Gaisha also took a glass of wine and drank it. I will go there in person after this period of time passes. A trip to Earth. Gaisha is different from Hexi. Hexi is the king of heaven in the angel civilization. Although she has spent a long time like Gaisha. But Hexi is obsessed with innovative research in science and technology. Although it seems boring. But there are goals that push her forward. Gaisha has long since lost her purpose in life. After all, the known universe has implemented her justice. What else can she do? Gaisha is confused. So, now the night wind turned out. Gaisha would naturally be very interested in him. Hee, what? Are you worried that I'm going to rob you of a man? She smiled sweetly, and said indifferently, data is data, I don't rely on data as much as you do. His body has no interest. Although Hexi is the chief scientist of the Angel Nebula. But, the more Hexi went on the road of science, the farther he went. The more she felt that the data was unreliable. Hexi always felt that there was an indescribable force in the world controlling the world. Perhaps. The end of science is really metaphysics. Although I rely on data, I am also not interested in a man's body. I am just curious about his abilities and want to experience it for myself. Gaisha smiled. Although life is incomplete without going through everything. But, Gaisha, who has been banned from Eternal, has long had no special impulse to love between men and women. Want to experience it for yourself? Are you trying to drive a spaceship in front of me? Hexi also smiled. And then, these two old drivers, who had been single for more than 30,000 years, were racing against each other for a while. Although their driving skills are more general. But it was enough to make many people not want to get out of the car after hearing it. They don't care if it's a car to kindergarten or not. Anyway, it's enough that the driver is two beautiful angels without clothes. After a while, Angel Yan and Angel Juxin came to the door. Angel Yan asked respectfully, Queen Gaisha, Karl, the god of death of the Styx civilization, said that he wanted to establish a call with you. Oh, Karl, god of death. What is he doing with me? Gaisha put down the wine glass in his hand, looked at Hexi and said, by the way, how's your research on Karl's phantom body? Karl was originally a very simple student. Then, because of the ultimate fear, Gaisha expelled the Super Seminary out of Angel Nebula, completely breaking with the Super Seminary. So Karl took his research away to the Styx. There, Karl became the main god of Styx. With a large group of fallen animal civilizations in Styx, they developed there in a low-key manner. Got the name of the god of death. Chapter 374 Invitation from Styx. At the very beginning, Gaisha doesn't care much about Karl. After all, the Styx is in a remote part of the universe. And all creatures in the river Styx are beast creatures. It's just a gathering place for losers. Carl himself is another unsuspecting student. But it was such a student who let Geisha relax his vigilance that he successfully upgraded his body to a 4th-generation divine body called a phantom body. Wait until Geisha finds out about it. She found. Everything is too late. With the angel's treasure trove of divine knowledge, Carl cannot be killed. Geisha theoretically has a way to suppress Carl. But absolutely cannot obliterate Carl. It is known that such 4 generations of gods have appeared in the universe, which is actually a very unfavorable factor for angels. Fortunately, Carl's behavior has always been relatively low-key. He is a very danceable young man. So, angels and sticks have always maintained peace and harmony. So, what did Carl suddenly ask her for? Carl's phantom is an advanced phosphorescent form that carries his mind. It can be attacked, but it is not Carl's body, but it is impossible for him to have no body. She raised the wine glass with solemn eyes. Carl's phantom is said to be immune to all attacks. But any divine body composed of matter exists objectively. As long as it exists objectively, it is impossible to completely shield the interference caused by external energy. So, Hexie also didn't understand why Carl's phantom body could not die. Why not be affected by energy? Sometimes Hexie even thinks about it. Could it be that the Carl they saw was just a phosphorescent projection of Carl? And the real Carl has already hidden his body? If not, it's all too hard to explain. Ontology. Projection. That's an interesting statement. Then I'll discuss Carl's problem with you after I've studied Yi Feng's matter clearly. Geisha smiled nonchalantly. Then, she connected Carl's interstellar call. Queen Geisha, I haven't been in touch for a long time, I miss it very much. Carl's voice echoed in the room. The tone is gentle. Sounds like a harmless student. But such a student. It actually propelled the windmill of the entire super god universe. Just like Orochimaru. Knew it. Only scholars who have a fiery pursuit of science can promote the progress of the times. Oh, you miss me, I'm a little surprised when you say that. Geisha smiled inadvertently. Geisha's impression of Carl is still many years ago. Geisha at that time didn't like Carl very much. Because she always felt that Carl was like a little licking dog. At every turn, he licked and licked behind the cold ice. Geisha doesn't like this style very much. That's natural. Once upon a time, you, me, Liang Bing, Hexie, we spent a very good life in the super seminary. Carl said very sincerely. Be honest. Carl does miss his time at Angel Super Seminary. At that time Carl had not yet come up with a terrible theory of ultimate fear. So, it's enough for Carl to simply think about knowledge and then crookedly. He had a very pleasant life then. But it's different now. Carl is no longer the simple student he once was. He wants to welcome the coming of the void creatures. Want to enter higher dimensions. Want to know more advanced scientific knowledge. But goals like this occasionally give Carl some unknown anxiety. Carl, let me remind you, you'd better not mention my stupid sister's name in front of me. Geisha shook his head and said. Also, I heard that Liang Bing has been upgraded to the 4th generation divine body, presumably this should be thanks to your help. Geisha has been asking her angel sisters to inquire about Morgana's whereabouts. Recent. Finally, an angel found some information about Morgana in a remote civilization. According to locals, Morgana has been upgraded to the 4th generation of gods. So, Geisha suspects that the person who helps Morgana level up is the death god Carl. Otherwise, how could it be possible to have enough resources to upgrade the 4th generation divine body based on the background of the devil? Unless Lian Bing's luck is against the sky. Queen Geisha, if you say this, it shows that you don't know your sister too well. Carl said humbly. She doesn't need my assistance at all, she is very good, and she is enough to be promoted to the 4th generation of gods. Although Carl has now lost the most primitive impulse of biology. But he still likes cold ice. So he is determined to help Liang Bing correct his name. Oh, it seems that you have full confidence in her. Geisha smiled lightly and said, okay, let's not mention my stupid sister. Tell me why you are looking for me. Geisha and Carl are not friends. They have also lost contact with Eternal. So Geisha felt that Carl suddenly came looking for her. There must be something very important. My purpose is actually related to your sister Liang Bing. I have been looking for her all these years. I really hope she can become an illusory body like me. Facing an opponent like Geisha, Carl explained very sincerely. After all, lying is easy to detect, but telling the truth is no flaw. Oh, are you looking for me to find out the whereabouts of Liang Bing? Geisha smiled and said, then you're probably going to be disappointed. I've been looking for her, but she's well hidden. Geisha suddenly felt that Carl seemed a little cute. He actually asked her about Liang Bing's whereabouts. If Geisha really knew where Liang Bing was, she had already taken someone to kill her. Are you still waiting for Carl to change Liang Bing into a phantom? Queen Geisha, I actually found a piece of information about your sister's whereabouts, but this information was encrypted by Liang Bing in an angel's unique way, and even my big clock couldn't figure it out, so I want to ask you for help in cracking Liang Bing's encryption. This excuse was something Carl had thought about for a long time. Although it sounds like a problem. But cold ice is Geisha's heart disease. Geisha would never let go of this opportunity to find cool ice anyway. Oh, what kind of information? Send it to me. Really? The lazy expression on Geisha's face disappeared instantly. It doesn't matter if what Carl says is true or not. As long as she can find Liang Bing. That's enough. Sorry, Geisha, I haven't parsed the relevant data, and I can't send this item to you. If you are interested, you may need to trouble you to come to the sticks in person. Carl's voice was full of apology. As if it were at all possible. He would never make such a request. Chapter 375 Queen Geisha arrives. Presumptuous. How noble is Queen Geisha's identity? If you really have respect for Queen Geisha, you should send it over in person. How can you ask the queen to come over? At this time, Angel Juxin stood up and scolded Carl fiercely. Geisha is the king of angels. Is the highest god in the known universe. No one is qualified to make any demands on Queen Geisha. And now, Carl actually asked Queen Geisha to take a trip to the sticks in person. Isn't this a joke? But Geisha waved his hand in disbelief and said with a faint smile. It's okay, I haven't been to the sticks for a long time. I just took this opportunity to see the situation over there. The presence of sticks in the known universe over the years is not particularly strong. Geisha hadn't paid attention to that place for almost a long time. But Night Wind on Earth. The gluttonous army of sticks is also on Earth. Carl now suddenly came to her again with the news she needed most. Geisha thinks that maybe it's not as simple as it seems on the surface. Okay Queen Geisha, I will wait for your arrival at the Dead Song Academy in the River Styx. Carl's voice fell. The two sides ended the call together. Geisha's face also showed a thoughtful look. Although Geisha also felt that Carl seemed a little wrong. But she felt that she really should go to see the sticks. She wants to see what the hell Carl has been researching for all these years. Will it affect the justice of the angels? Queen, I always think that Carl seems to have bad intentions. Why don't I go to the sticks instead of you? If there is a problem with the sticks, I will execute the trial in the sticks instead of you. The angel looked at his queen with a piercing gaze. Although Juxin is Geisha's holy right wing. But Juxin is too young. She is only 500 years old. Angel Juxin also hopes that she can draw a sword for the queen like Angel Yan. But she never waited for such an opportunity. Badness. Juxin, if a student like Carl has bad intentions and can make your queen fear, is the queen still a queen? Geisha smiled. Of course she understood Juxin's good intentions. But Geisha hasn't been curious about the unknown for a long, long time. So she has already decided on this trip to the sticks. Hexie, I'm going to take Juxin and Yan to the sticks. I'll ask you to check the treasure house of sacred knowledge first to see if there is any problem. Geisha glanced at Hexie and said. Don't worry, I will check it carefully. After all, the result is related to Yan and Juxin's future happiness. Hexie smiled. Angel companions are no trivial matter and must be thoroughly examined. If not, isn't that cheap Yifeng, that little guy? Happy in the future. What future happiness? King Tianji, which aspect are you referring to? Angel Yan looked at Tianji King Hexie and Holy Geisha with a question mark on his face. Future happiness. Why does she always feel that something is not right? Does the queen also drive? Can't it? Yes, master, what kind of happiness can I have in the future? Angel Juxin also asked in confusion. Well, that earthling called Yefeng, do you all remember? Hexie shrugged his shoulders. He walked out of the pool generously. The beauty from top to bottom, from front to back, made Angel Yan and Angel Ji Shin feel a little ashamed. Turn out to be. Angel Nebula's most predictable angel turned out to be Tianji Wang Hexie. King Tianji, don't you mean to say that our future happiness is related to Yifeng? Angel Yan frowned. Although Angel Yan has a good impression of Yifeng. But she originally thought Yifeng was just a slightly special passerby in her long life. We may never meet again in the future. But now, Geisha Queen and Tianji King Hexie actually told them that their future happiness is related to Yifeng. What's happening here? What will happen in the future? Well, Geisha used the treasure house of divine knowledge to calculate the marriage for the two of you, and then the treasure house of divine knowledge matched the two of you to Yifeng. Hexie shrugged her fragrant shoulders. Then, a fiery Yuhi-colored energy flowed on her body, evaporating all the water droplets on her body. Then, Hexie changed into a soft white dress. Bold and elegant. This. Master. Could there really be a problem with the Queen's treasure trove of sacred knowledge? How could Sister Yan and I be matched with the Earthlings at the same time? It seems like a remote little place, right? Angel Juxin's face showed a very surprised look. Although the data collected by Angel Yan from Yifeng made Ji Shin feel a little surprised. Angel Juxin also believed that Yifeng was different. But even if the night wind is excellent, wouldn't it match the sacred wings of the angelic civilization at the same time? What a good man he must be. There must be something wrong with this system. Faced with doubts, Angel Hexie smiled noncommittally and said, it's possible, so I'm going to carefully check the operation of the treasure house of sacred knowledge to see if it needs maintenance. No way. So many angels have been matched to Yefeng by the treasure house of divine knowledge. How? Fate is planning to let Yifeng inherit the will of Yi, the king of the palace, to become the king of the harem. Hexie felt that this matter was very unreliable. She had to check it out. Then, Master, do you need my help? Juxin hesitated. After all, this matter involved her future happiness. So, she still wished she could be involved. No need, I can do it myself. Hexie shrugged, rejecting Juxin's kindness. Because Hexie must not let anyone else know that she and Geisha were also matched to Yefeng. This matter must be guaranteed to be absolutely confidential. Unless someone as good as she and Geisha are, absolutely not allowed to know about this. ... A few days later. In the distant Styx galaxy. A large army of angels is racing towards the center of the Styx galaxy. Angel Yan and Angel Juxin lead the way. Geisha sat behind them on a comfortable sofa. Queen Geisha, coming to Huang Izumi. Queen Geisha has located the location of the Dead Song Academy. Queen Geisha has located the location of Karl, the god of death. Prepare to enter the Huang Izumi atmosphere. Let the clouds roll over. Queen Geisha is here. Accompanied by the voice of angels, they rushed into the atmosphere of the yellow Izumi star, like fairies descending over the Dead Song Academy in the river Styx. Chapter 376 _ The Power of the Night Wind. Dead Song Academy stands in the center of Huang Izumi. The academy covers a small area. The architectural style is a little weird. Twilight sullen. It is very different from the academy in the eyes of angels. They felt that Carl had some kind of wrong understanding of the word, academy. Queen, this place makes me feel very uncomfortable, the smell of death is everywhere, and I seem to have an ominous premonition. The angel's gaze was dignified. She wanted to try analyzing the surrounding data with the eye of insight. But it was resisted by an inexplicable force. It can be seen from this. Master of Death Carl must have been quite high. At least not weaker than her holy right wing who is good at technology side. Carl the god of death is keen on death, and it's normal for his base camp to be weird, don't think about it too much. Angel Yan stood on Geisha's left and comforted Juxin. But having said that, Angel Yan's gaze towards Dead Song Academy was also slightly dignified. In the end, Angel Yan has traveled to many places in the known universe. She had also heard a lot about Carl. Very pervert. Hee, Yan, Juxin, don't worry too much about the two of you. Geisha sat lazily on the sofa, smiled indifferently, and said, as the most perfect living beings in the known universe, we angels are the most powerful beings in the known universe. So, don't you think this sense of crisis is very worthwhile for us to enjoy? Angels are too powerful. Geisha is too powerful. So, Geisha was already quite bored with this completely lack of urgency. It would be nice if she could encounter a little challenge every now and then. Then, Geisha's voice fell. She opened the king-level eye of insight. Don't look at Carl's ability to block Angel Yan and Angel Juxin's investigation of Dead Song Academy. But Geisha is the king of angels. She quickly gained a wealth of information about Carl. Of course. The most core content has been carefully hidden by Carl. It didn't take long. Came out of the Academy of Dead Songs wearing his eternal unchanging maester obedience. Queen Geisha, welcome your presence. Your presence will make Dead Song Academy flourish. Carl looked up at Geisha. The tone was very respectful. No one could see how he was planning to destroy Geisha. Carl, I heard that your gluttonous army is maliciously invading the earth. You should know that such behavior is not in line with the justice of the known universe. Geisha glanced at Carl. Smile lightly. Queen Geisha is joking. Although the gluttonous army often launches some wars in the known universe without authorization, but they have just suffered a defeat on Earth, how can it be considered an invasion? Death God Carl explained indifferently. Fenguli and Buck are obviously the jumping clowns who rushed up and were beaten in the face. It's a farce. Very insane behavior. All have been named and criticized by Styx daily. So, how can this be considered malicious intrusion? Oh, Teodi lost so soon. Geisha opened the Eye of Insight again and obtained the battle data of Fenguli and Bucks on Earth, and then she smiled meaningfully. The reorganized fleet of 2 gluttons was actually defeated by Yifeng alone. Is this Teodi careless, or is Yifeng really too strong? Angel Yan heard Yifeng's news from Geisha again. This made the deer in her heart start to bump around. After all, Yifeng actually defeated Teodi's reorganized team. Is he really that strong? Why didn't you see it then? And, Guy, what does Queen Sha's smile mean? Shouldn't the queen really match her to the old driver Yifeng? A thought here. Angel Yan's heart became a little complicated. The last time she saw Yifeng, she still looked at him with the mentality of a big sister. Could it be that she will see him as a guardian angel next time? Could it be that Yifeng is her future happiness? Are they going to? Okay, let's stop the gossip, show me what you said. Geisha decides to put other things aside first. After all, Finding the whereabouts of her stupid sister was the most serious thing to do. As for the night wind, we can talk about it later. Okay. Carl's voice fell. Geisha a chip called Kiran that was full of technology and had been prepared in advance. Geisha took the chip. The eye of insight is directly connected to the inside of the chip. This chip is very good. Well made. And the core area really uses a very unique encryption technology. Geisha nodded. This encryption method is unique to the three kings of angels. She recognized at a glance that the chip must have come from the hands of Li Yanbing. It didn't take long. Geisha finished decrypting the contents of the chip. Oh, Li Yanbing is actually on Earth. That's unlikely, right? After Geisha deciphered the content on the chip, she frowned and looked at Carl with a stern gaze. Isn't your gluttonous army on Earth? If the cold ice is really on Earth, wouldn't they know? Carl kept saying that he was looking for cold ice. Result. Li Yanbing is obviously on Earth but he didn't find it at all. This is absolutely not normal. But, facing the questioning of Holy Geisha, Carl smiled very calmly. Queen Geisha, I am also very surprised by the news that Li Yanbing is on Earth. Carl explained indifferently. Although Teodi is my subordinate, they are not worth mentioning in front of God at all. If Li Yanbing is really hidden on Earth, it is normal for them not to find out. Oh, Yan, get the data from the solar system and check carefully if there are any demons on the Earth. Geisha ordered. After 2 seconds. Angel Yan really found Morgana's results on Earth. Queen Geisha, Morgana is indeed on Earth. She also attacked Earth's super seminary, but... Angel Yan hesitated when he said this. Then continued. But she was repelled by Yi Feng. Angel Yan knows Morgana's strength very well. Not to mention that Morgana has now been upgraded to the 4th generation of gods. Even when Morgana was still 3 generations of gods, Angel Yan was no match for Morgana. After all, the other party is the king. The king can only be confronted by the king. But why can Yefeng beat Morgana? Angel Yan didn't feel that Yefeng was so strong when he was with Yefeng. Could that guy have such a deep hidden strength? What does he want to do? Yefeng again. Geisha once again showed that meaningful smile, nodded and said, it seems that I really need to go to Earth in person. On the one hand, Geisha is very relieved that she finally found a clue to Li Yanbing. On the other hand, she really became more and more interested in Yi Feng. No wonder he is marked as a harem king by the treasure house of divine knowledge. So, Geisha decides to meet Yi Feng in person to see what is special about Yi Feng. Chapter 377 _ The gears of fate have turned. Queen. I think Carl is clearly colluding with Morgana. He wants to deceive the angel to the Earth. He must have ulterior motives. The angel's eyes were cold. She is very smart. Although she has no evidence to support her judgment. But she was keenly aware that Carl must have a conspiracy. Queen Geisha, please believe me, and you have also seen the situation of Styx. With our Styx's strength, it is impossible to be an enemy of angels. Carl explained patiently. Geisha has obtained a lot of information about the Styx civilization. The entire Styx civilization. It can be said that the rest of the forces other than Carl are nothing to worry about. So, such a civilization that only has the power of the Lord God is indeed not worthy of being an enemy of angels. Well, I can trust you for the time being. I was going to go to Earth anyway. Geisha looked at Carl calmly and said, however, if I find out that you are lying to me in the future, it will be another kind of the result is. Don't worry, Queen Geisha, I will never deceive you. Carl smiled. There was a smile that he thought was sincere. But Geisha is still a little uneasy about Carl. Juxin, you stay in the Dead Song Academy for now. If you find that Carl has a problem, you can directly execute the trial instead of me. Geisha looked at Carl thoughtfully, and then ordered Juxin. Geisha sees many things through the eye of insight. Of course. There is a lot of content in this that Carl deliberately let Geisha see. So, just as Carl expected, Geisha decides to leave Angel Heart in Dead Song Academy. Let Juxin spy on Carl. Queen, is it really okay to leave Juxin here alone? Angel Yan asked softly. After all, the strength of the death god Carl cannot be underestimated. Carl is just a student in the eyes of most people. He never got into a fight. But Angel Yan always felt that Carl was not as simple as it seemed. Don't worry, Yan, if even my holy right wing can't suppress students like Carl, then our angel army will be in jeopardy. Geisha smiled. Although Juxin did not break through to become a god. But Angel Juxin is Geisha's right-wing guard. She has access to a portion of Geisha's arsenal, and can remotely draw energy from a treasure trove of divine knowledge. So in Geisha's view, it's certainly no problem to leave Juxin to spy on Carl. Don't worry, Sister Yan. Feel free to teach me here. I will definitely do it. Angel Juxin looked at Angel Yan firmly. Although Juxin is not strictly a battle angel. But that doesn't mean her fighting ability is weak. Geisha left the sticks with the angel. But they did not choose to return to the Angel Nebula. Geisha took Angel Yan and a small number of angel guards directly towards the Earth. There is the Pluto insect bridge specially built by the gluttonous army. They can make several wormhole jumps from the river Styx. Very convenient to reach the solar system. But while on the road, Angel Yan received a message from Fraser. Queen, Qingqing said that Morgana's sword demon Atto is in Fraser. It is said that Morgana wants the sword devil to kill people in Fraser to become a god. Angel Yan frowned. Fraser Holy Ireland is the best crown prince calculated by Queen Geisha using the treasure house of divine knowledge. So, Qingqing has been secretly protecting Ani Sid in Fraser. But the sword demon is the most brave and masculine general under Morgana. If the sword demon wants to kill Ani Sid, Qingqing is definitely not the sword demon's opponent. Murder to become a god. Geisha's mouth twitched, as if hearing a big joke. If becoming a god is so easy, would there be so few gods? There are many people in the known universe. But God is poor. If you can become a god by killing, the known universe is probably full of gods long ago. Queen, Qingqing said that the sword demon Atto is killing in the north, and there is no sign of invading the southern kingdom of Aelin. Do we need to intervene? Angel Yan asked. The safety of Anisid is of course important. But the Angel's policy for cultivating Aeneid is stalking. If Anisid knew that she was the crown prince of the King of Angels, then her state of mind will change. The growth process also shifts. To be honest, if angels intervene too much, it will affect her development. Farazar, sword demon. Geisha sat on the sofa with Erlang's legs crossed, resting his cheek with one hand, and said, Yan, since the sword demon is raging in the north of Fraser, then you, Fraser's thunder god of war, go killing him is also a matter of course, you should go. Yes, Geisha Queen. Although Angel Yan is not particularly willing to go to Fraser at this time. But she is the warrior of Queen Geisha. She will do what the Queen asks her to do without hesitation. Geisha watched Angel Yan leave. There was a meaningful look on her face. Murder is a joke. Lian Bing sent Sword Demon to Fraser at this time. At this time, Carl told her about Lian Bing's whereabouts. Then, Geisha is about to fight the demons, but her divine wings have their own mission. Such a coincidence made Geisha couldn't help thinking. What the hell was her stupid sister up to? But just like what Geisha said to Angel Yan, this sense of crisis that hadn't appeared in a long time made Geisha excited deep in his heart. Although Geisha suspects that Liang Bing is planning some conspiracies with Carl. But Geisha is also eager to see what her stupid sister is going to do against her, the King of Angels. Then, Geisha subtly follows the arrangement of fate. With the angel rushed to the earth. And at the same time, the Shangbing Company has also been transferred from the Super Seminary to the South China Sea Giant Gorge. After all, Yifeng and Morgana swayed too fiercely that night. Destroyed the ground buildings of the super seminary. Huasha finally handed over the giant gorge to Dukao for management. After moving. Although the friends feel that the accommodation conditions here are much worse than the super seminary. But the cabin assigned by Yifeng is spacious enough. It doesn't affect him at all with Qirin Chiangwei Wanda to live that kind of shameless life. This day. Afterwards. Yifeng is telling the hot-blooded story of a great pirate era to the girls in his arms. As usual. The tired girls have many questions in their hearts. Master Feng Feng. What the hell is that Captain Bucky? Was he really a crew member on Roger's ship? Is he really a brother to Yuhi Shanks? But his record seems to be average. Could it be that he is pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger? Rose frowned and asked curiously. Chapter 378 Geisha arrives _. Well, what you said is true. Captain Bucky is definitely a godlike existence, and there is no need to doubt anything. Yifeng showed a serious face. God Bucky is the real fruit of luck. Torn apart. It's probably just the ability that God Bucky uses to hide people's eyes. After all. The god of Bucky was the one who blocked Hawkeye's full-strength slash at the top without being hurt, and easily escaped in the face of Kizaru's laser beam and Akainu's magma attack. He originally planned to take advantage of the chaos to take the head of Whitebeard. Afterwards, Yuhi sent Shanks directly. This is the great god Bucky who is not even seen by the four emperors. It doesn't matter what you look like. The important thing is that he can really eat tigers. Feng Yi, what exactly is Zoro's identity? As a good friend of Wang Luffy, he can't be so ordinary, right? Qirin also raised her question. Wang Luffy is the grandson of naval hero Garp and the son of revolutionary Long. The son of the ace sniper of the four emperors Yuhifa pirates. Usopp was the son of the king of the kingdom of Germa. Robin is a survivor of O'Hara. So is Nami Solomon Brook really a group of ordinary aspiring young people who go to sea for their ideals? Not all kinds of second generation. How is this possible? Especially Solomon. The other friends have more or less a richer and more complete story. But only the whole of Sauron. Yifeng just told them what happened between Zoro and Guina in a small martial arts hall. This is not normal. There must be a big secret behind it. Well, maybe he's the prince of the lost country. I'll make it up for you later. Nightwing sighed. Why does everyone have to have an unusual background? Born unremarkable. And then rely on their own efforts to become strong. Isn't this delicious? Just like someone at night. Master Feng Feng. What is the blank 100-year history in the legend? Why hasn't it been made clear? Can you not just dig a hole without filling it? Are you the Pit King? Wanda rubbed Yifeng's arms with his small head. I want Yifeng to fill the hole with beautiful colors. But she was obviously taking the problem too simple. Well, can 100 years be considered history? It's just a snap, don't worry too much. Yifeng sighed again. The plot is hot. What do you care about in those 100 years? What about One Piece? They've been talking about it since the first episode. What is it? It can't be an ordinary treasure, can it? It doesn't make sense. Is Roger a devil fruit power user? What power did he rely on to become the Pirate King? The aunt of the four emperors, she gave birth to 85 children in 50 years. In this way, she has no time to practice at all. How did she become the four emperors? Is Whitebeard going to armament hockey? Why hasn't he used it in the Battle of the Top? What is the ability of a dragon? Will Sabo die? Listening to the same questions from the girls. Yifeng was lost in thought again. Knew it. If you want to be a storyteller, you still have to create your own. After all, you can make as much nonsense as you want with your own original story. But if it's telling someone else's story, it's hard to say so many details. After all, Oda didn't fill in some pits, and he was a manga reader at night. How to fill in. Then, just when Yifeng was pressed by the girls, he was a little depressed. When you want to relieve stress on a daily basis. Suddenly, Earth's atmosphere tumbled. Holy Geisha has finally come to Earth. ... South China Sea. Over the giant gorge. Geisha sits on her domineering cross-shaped sofa. There are two symmetrical rows of angels beside him. They look down at the creatures on the deck condescendingly. Busy analyzing data on Earth with angelic eyes of insight. Don't you know that this is a very bad habit to turn to Byakugan if you don't agree? The night wind flew into the air. He looked at Holy Geisha with great interest. Geisha is beautiful. But Geisha's beauty is different from other angels. Although she is graceful. But the facial features give people a sharp feeling. This is a kind of atmospheric beauty that is very queenly. Face such a woman. Forget the night wind. Even the most lustful old man in the universe shouldn't have any bad thoughts about her, right? Well, it's really impolite to use the eye of insight to analyze other people's data without their permission, but I'm too curious about your body, so I couldn't hold back. You shouldn't blame me. Geisha crossed Erlang's legs. One-handed chin. It seems that there is no need to take care of this incident at all. She just stared at Yifeng indifferently. Use the eye of insight to analyze the underlying data of Yifeng. But all this is bound to be in vain. All she saw was clouds and loneliness. It is understandable that you are curious about me, and I am also very willing to have an in-depth communication with you. After all, metaphysics has no borders. Yifeng smiled faintly. Geisha is the supreme god of technology in this known universe. Yifeng is the only god of fantasy in this known universe. Yifeng did not reject in-depth communication with Geisha. But why does Geisha's favorability for him start at 79? This made Yifeng a little puzzled. Although he is so charming at night. But it doesn't have to be so powerful, right? Could it be that the angels are also playing on his mind? The genes in your body are just the most primitive genes of the people on Earth. But your body is God's body. And from my point of view, the most powerful thing about you is not your divine body, but the unusual energy within you. You are such an invisible person. Geisha closes the eye of insight. Although Yifeng's system did not deliberately block anything for him. But with Geisha's knowledge structure, the underlying data of Yifeng could not be parsed at all. But the universe has existed for 13.8 billion years. The genetic evolution technology is only a technology tree that has only appeared since the Kamigawa civilization. Only a dozen Eternals have been developed. So, although Geisha has always been very conceited. But she believed it. The evolution of life in the universe should be diverse. The existence of Yifeng also just confirmed her point of view. Oh, is that so? It's not that I can't see through it, it's that you didn't look carefully. Yifeng smiled faintly. Said this very mysterious sentence. It's as if anything can be accomplished if you put your mind to it. Oh, look with your heart. How to look with your heart? Geisha asked Yifeng with a meaningful smile. Well, it's complicated to explain, you might understand it later. Nightwind shrugged. Nothing is impossible to achieve in the future. If there is, that might have to change the knowledge point. Chapter 379 _ Can you talk about your body's little secret? Hehe, you are really interesting. Would you like to share with me the little secrets in your body? Geisha looked at Yifeng very curiously. She looked at the angel's best companion, which this treasure house of divine knowledge had determined. She wants to know all the secrets of Yifeng. I remember Yan asked me the same question, and I told her that as long as she became my guardian angel, I could tell her my secret, and the answer applies to you as well. Yifeng smiled. Although he is facing the holy Geisha, the supreme god of the known universe. But the major principles and the basic law must not be lost. After all, he is not someone who likes double standards. The rules that apply to Angel Yan also apply to Geisha and all the beautiful angel girls. But this attitude towards Yi Feng. Although Geisha himself didn't care too much. But as the saying goes, the King of Angels is in no hurry. The thugs under the King of Angels were in a hurry. Ye Feng, how dare you be so arrogant? Do you know that disrespecting Queen Geisha is a first-class felony? Angel's sword of cold flames unsheathed. He stared at Yi Feng with a bad look on his face. This guy actually wants to make Queen Geisha a guardian angel for him. Why didn't he say that he wanted the entire angel legion to be a harem for him? Beautiful. God will not do that. Are you arrogant? I just gave your queen a choice. She didn't say to be my guardian angel. What are you in a hurry? Do you want to dance too? Yi Feng smiled. This angel Leng is exactly the same as Yi Feng's memory. Although she is very pretty. But the character is hot. Like thorns all over. I don't know if I will be more honest after a lot of things have happened in the future. You, arrogant. The angel was cold to see Yi Feng so stubborn and full of talk. She was about to freak out. But Geisha raised his hand to stop her. Ye Feng, you really are an interesting guy, but the main purpose of my visit to Earth this time is to punish demons, apart from coming to see you. Geisha glanced at the sky from a distance, and said lightly. So, wait until I solve Morgana's problem, and then come to you to discuss the little secrets in your body. Geisha's voice fell. She opened an operation panel marked with an angel. And then, Angel walked to Geisha coldly. Fingers like scallions made a ferocious operation on the panel. Open the dwarf map. Then, she really located Morgana's position. Queen Geisha found it. Morgana's demon fortress is now docked under the atmosphere above Tianhe City. After Geisha listened to the angel's cold report, she waved her hand indifferently and said, calculate how much impact it will have on the people of the earth if a powerful heavenly blade trial is carried out. Although the full power of the Sky Blade Judgment may not be able to destroy Morgana. But the big move is the basic operation of Geisha. After all, people are going invincible. Queen, because Morgana's demon fortress is flying at a low altitude, if the trial of the full-power Sky Blade is executed, the 24.2814 million permanent population of Tianhe City will all die. The angel said this terrible number in a cold voice. Like for an angel. Human life. It's just a number on the scale. They don't care whose wife at all. Whose daughter. They only care if they can achieve their goals. 24,281,400. Geisha dragged his chin lazily and said, considering the damage that demons can cause to the entire known universe, 24,281,400 is actually not much. Although 20 million people is a huge number for the Earth. But if only the angels could take this opportunity to destroy Morgana's demonic army in one fell swoop. So, the sacrifice of 20 million people was worth it. But it still depends on whose point of view it is. Geisha, you angels have always prided themselves on being righteous, but as soon as you come to Earth, you plan to kill 24.2814 million people. Do you think this is really appropriate? Geisha calmly. To a certain extent. Yi Feng can also understand what the angel does. After all, angels are the highest civilization in the entire universe. They are accustomed to using macro thinking to assess gains and losses. In other words, if today Geisha really killed Morgana at the expense of the Earth. So, Geisha won't be killed by Karl's conspiracy next. Geisha as long as he doesn't die. The universe will not fall into chaos. A villain like Yi running triangle, in front of Geisha, didn't even dare to jump. So, such a result is more favorable for the entire known universe from the current point of view. It's like Yi Feng can understand the snap of Thanos' fingers in the Marvel world. Thanos is after all solving the resource problem of the entire universe. But if Yi Feng is in Marvel, he will definitely stop Thanos. After all, Yifeng was only over 300 years old. Very young. Although he already has the power of God, he cannot look at the world as indifferently as God. He also has humanity and compassion. He has not been able to watch so many innocent people being killed inexplicably. At this time, Dukao stood up straight, and questioned Geisha with a solemn expression, saying, "Holy Geisha, it's been a long time since Morgana came to Earth, but she didn't cause much damage to the Earth. Compared with the Demon Queen, don't you think your angel's actions are more like a demon than a demon?" Dukao was really angry this time. Yes. Dukao used to be a war madman. When he started those wars, he never thought about those innocent people. But after Dino's demise, the Dukao has changed a lot. He has become more humane. If not, with the strength of their group, as early as thousands of years ago, they could become the masters of the earth. At this time, Holy Geisha faced Dukao's questioning aloofly. He showed an indifferent smile. Evil and justice are opposites, and the line in between is difficult to assess, especially when our ideologies are not aligned. Geisha looked at Yifeng calmly. In the eyes of the angels, everything has its two sides. Right and wrong. Water and fire. Good and evil. Calm and crazy. Many times these opposing things are difficult to assess and distinguish. As the saying goes, extremes must be reversed. Only when the two are in conflict with a little unity. That is the most scientific. Too bad that was so hard. Even if technology develops to the level of angelic civilization, it still cannot be done. So, angels can only think they are right. Chapter 380_Demon King. Queen Geisha, please allow me to directly execute the full-power Sky Blade trial and destroy Morgana. The angel said coldly. Angel Leng can't wait. In her opinion, God is God. Mortals are mortals. It is only natural that angels want to destroy demons. They don't need to consider the opinions of mortals at all. Anyway, a flame went down. It is God's will for mortals. But Geisha didn't give Angel Leng the authority to execute the grand judgment. She looked at Yifeng and said lightly, Morgana is the most diabolical devil in the known universe. The kind that the whole universe gets and kills. However, I can also see that the hearts of most of you people on Earth are still full of a sense of justice. Although your justice is not on the same dimension as the angels. The justice in your hearts is only at the height of ordinary creatures of pre-nuclear civilization. And the justice of the angels stands at the height of the whole universe. Speaking of which, you can't be wrong. After all, justice is justice. Although you are not tall enough, you are also worthy of angel protection. So, I can give you a chance to make your own choice. Of course. If you want to choose yourself to face the devil, then your Earth is likely to cause far more casualties than 24,281,400 people in the future. The same. Our angel warriors will also sacrifice many sisters because of your choice. So, make your choice. Night Wind. Let me see how you see justice. Geisha has actually changed. There have been many nebula-level wars between angels and demons. In those big wars, they have involved countless civilizations. Destroyed hundreds of millions of stars. Those innocent civilizations were caught up in the war between angels and demons. But demons are still demons. Angels can never completely destroy demons. So, whenever it's quiet at night, Geisha can't help but think about a question. If she hadn't strangled the demons at the beginning, but let them develop freely within a range. Perhaps her stupid sister, the damage to the known universe may not be as great as it is now. In addition, it was Yifeng who stood in front of her. So, Geisha temporarily decides to try it out on Earth. She wanted to see if the male god assigned to her by this treasure house of divine knowledge had a better way to solve the problem of demons. Then, Yifeng's answer did not disappoint her. Don't worry Geisha, One day, I will definitely be the king of demons, and then I will lead them to a new path. You don't need to worry about demons at all. Yifeng smiled. Isn't it the devil? He was close to taking full control of Morgana. At that time, the demon army changed its surname to Yi. So, do demons have anything to worry about? And at the same time, in the command room of Demon Fortress, Morgana changed into her curvaceous little battle leather jacket. I was watching what happened over the giant gorge with seriousness. When she heard Yifeng said that she was going to lead the demon to the Sunshine Avenue, she could not help frowning. Damn, this bastard. He really dares to talk nonsense. Who said he could become the Devil's King? When did I agree to the Queen? Lian Bing put her hands on her hips. Tsunere face, he pouted. Liang Bing said that it is absolutely impossible for her demon queen Morgana to yield to a man. Especially this night breeze. Even one day later. She will not kneel in front of Yifeng. But Heifeng glanced at the beautiful light makeup on his queen's face. He couldn't help but sighed. The queen even gave up her previous battle makeup. Shouldn't she really fall? But didn't the queen like girls before? How do you feel the queen has changed? Heifeng, show me a projection. I'm going to go over there and pretend. Lang Bing smiled lightly. Geisha and Yefeng are talking about Hai in the South China Sea. But have they considered her demon queen's mood? This is forcing. She Morgana is also going to pretend. That's not good, queen. After all, it's easy to be struck by lightning when you pretend to be forceful. Are you sure you want to turn on the projection? Heifeng kindly reminded Liang Bing. Although we have to fight with angels. But you don't have to pull hatred like this, right? Stay a line afterwards. See you later. Fog grass. Don't be so rude to the old lady. Don't forget our real purpose. Lian Bing glared at Heifeng. Follow Carl's plan. Earth civilization will definitely prevent Geisha from using mass destruction skills on Earth. So, Cool Ice needs to take this opportunity to lure Geisha to her demon fortress. Then, Carl can then teleport Geisha to the Emerald Star using the facility he implanted on the demon citadel. The god-killing plan can be executed perfectly. So, this wave of hatred must be filled. Ah, look at my brain. I almost forgot that we were going to kill a god. Haifeng stroked his chin thoughtfully. Fortunately, I am the first smart devil under the queen's seat. If not, I guess I totally forgot about it. I'm going to pretend you're here to keep me alert here, in case Geisha's bitcha suddenly makes a big attack. Remember to use the fastest speed to transfer devil number 1 to the preset secure location. Quote. Lian Bing knocked Haifeng's elm head. Although Geisha said that there will be no big trial on the devil. But Liang Bing didn't particularly believe in her sister. After all, Eternal had been hit between the two of them. That trust has long since disappeared. I want to keep the demons safe. She still has to rely on herself. ... Over the South China Sea. Discussed with Geisha about the future of Liangbing. Geisha seems to be satisfied with Yi Feng's answer. No wonder the Vault of Divine Knowledge made such a decision. Such a male god is indeed an extraordinary character. Then, Yi Feng was about to tell Geisha about Carl. After all, if Geisha can break the game, then the Emerald Star may not need to explode. As long as the Emerald Star doesn't explode, it is always possible for Yifeng to go there and complete the check in one day. After all, as long as Geisha lives, there will be no chaos on the earth. Then Yifeng is the god of the earth. How comfortable would such a life be? Needless to say. So, Yifeng felt that if he could help Geisha, he still had to help her. Although Geisha is not dead, it may affect many later mainline check-in tasks. But what a dangerous job to do. Or is it more vain to take a girl to do daily life? I just don't know how fate will decide.